Ladies and gentlemen, University of Oklahoma President David Bourne invites you to join Dr. William Wakefield, Director of University Band, the Pride of Oklahoma, and the combined University ROTC units in the singing of our national anthem. Northwestern Bell.
Oklahoma will be receiving, defending the north end of the Cotton Bowl.
Beautiful day for the Red River Shootout here in Dallas, Texas. The sun broke through about 30 minutes ago. Texas won the coin flip and elected to defer. So they will kick it off as Richmond McGee, the sophomore kicker who has been outstanding, puts it on the tee. 13 touchbacks for him. And back deep, Antoine Savage, number 6, along with Antonio Perkins, number 28 for the Sooners. The Jack Root, Gary Danielson, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us here this afternoon. Breeze in his back into the end zone, and they elect to bring it out. Savage gambles, a mistake, down at the 10-yard line. So Gary, it'll be the Sooner offense going to work here underneath Nate Hibble.
And Nate Hibble is going to look to that offensive line to try to give him some help. Nate Hibble hasn't thrown an interception this year, but the key to the football game, those 5 guys in front of him, give him a little bit of help. and then he won't take that pounding like we saw him last year take.
First series of the game. Will Peoples splits to the left. Savage goes to the slot for the Sooners. Quentin Griffin, 22, is the running back. The tight end flexes the formation. Here on that delay is Griffin. Battles his way close to the 15-yard line, and Lee Jackson, the linebacker from Longview, Texas, makes the stop.
It's the spread it out offense of Oklahoma, who wants to run the ball against the fastest defense Mack Brown says he's had before.
Nate Hibble checks the wristband. Texas coach Mack Brown on the Horn sideline on the far side. Shotgun look again, 3 wide, and an H look from the tight end. Slant, high, incomplete. So they come out that time and throw to Trent Smith, who was split out to the right. He's actually more of a split end than a tight end.
A little bit of an H-back guy, and they went at the big body against Vassar down there, throwing a slant, poorly thrown ball behind Smith.
Oklahoma coach Bob Stoops on the near sideline. His team now facing a 3rd and 5. Incomplete, and it's 3 and out on the first series. The Texas defense forces an Oklahoma punt on the first series of the game.
You really saw the game plan. Watch Texas come right up to put pressure on Hibble, and the back goes right out to the outside. This is a drop pass, little pick pass to the outside. Ball slightly thrown to the outside, but could have been caught.
Now Vasher, there was a question about his health. He'll be back to return Blake Ferguson's punt. Vasher standing on the Texas 44. Ferguson high. Vasher lets it bounce dead. It'll roll down inside the 45-yard line, and that's where the Horns will put it in play with their first series of the game. So Chris Sims, the senior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, brings the Horns out. Excellent field position for Texas here to start the game. Cedric Benson is his running back. He's expected to see duty early and often. Comes with the end around, and Johnson's got daylight, but only a 2-yard gain because of Brandon Everidge, the free safety from Granger, Texas.
You can see right there that speed of this Oklahoma defense. Their secondary has not been tackling great, but I think they like the change-up of not having to tackle that guy from Missouri anymore, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Brad Smith hit him for more than 200 yards. Second down and 8. For Sims and the Horns, their first series of the game. Benson to the middle, and this will leave the Horns with about a 3rd and 5 or 4. Jimmy Wilkerson, the junior from Omaha, Texas, number 45, who had a big game a year ago in the Red River Shootout, makes a stop.
Roy Williams is on the field, still nursing that hamstring.
Wide receiver for Texas goes out to the right side of the formation. Sims needs 5 yards. Sets the screen. It was read perfectly. But the Horns, because of the effort by the wide man, who was split out that time, and Robert Timmons, the freshman from Flower Mound, Texas, gives him a big first down.
He's a speed guy, one of those young freshmen. Great recruiting class Mack Brown has had. Get him the ball in space and let those guys make plays.
Klein makes the stop, and it'll be 2nd and long.
Texas does not have much success running between the tackles against this defense.
Now here's a throwing situation for Sims. The horns across midfield. And they run Benson instead, but it does not surprise the Sooners. Pasha Jackson, the junior linebacker from California, number 53, makes the stop.
Really seemed like there was some space there. Kind of a draw play, a draw ISO, and watch Oklahoma. Space, yes, yes, no. Here comes the speed of those linebackers from Oklahoma to close it down.
Brett Robin is the protector, and now they go empty in the backfield. They will throw to Robin occasionally, and it's a quarterback draw where Sims, the ball carrier, he's short of the first down. A penalty flag at the 46-yard line.
There is a flag down on the play.
Holding will take it back to the other side of midfield now.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the snap, still 3rd down.
I think Mack Brown understands he's not going to be able to run a conventional offense against these guys. You've seen a reverse and a quarterback draw already in the game.
3rd and 20. Williams is to the left. Sims was under enormous pressure that time from Tommy Harris. Tommy Harris, number 97, applied the heat on Sims, and Texas is forced to punt. Welcome to the Red River Shoodout. We are scoreless. Both Oklahoma and Texas have handled the ball once. This is Texas punting. Brian Bradford hanging it up in the air, and it'll be downed inside the 2-yard line. And Dorian McCullough, a freshman, down that punt, and Nate Hibble, who has thrown 148 passes without an interception, will come on the field for his 2nd series of the game. Oklahoma was 3 and out. Texas winning the coin flip. They deferred. They'll start the second half with the ball. Oklahoma getting in first. After the punt, Texas picked up 1 first down. Then they were penalized for holding, and they were forced to punt. Sims is 1 of 2. Hibble is 0 for 2. Kewan Jones, the running back for Hibble this time. His first call of the game, a penalty flag. A penalty flag comes down as we take a look at the Nivea starting lineup. And here's the key for the Sooners. This offensive line must be an approved item for the Sooners here today. This is a day of reckoning. Behind him, the backs and receivers. 2 years ago, Quentin Griffin popped the Longhorns for 6 touchdowns. A lot of depth at that particular position. So it is against the offense on that illegal procedure.
Does this end zone look familiar? A lot of stuff happened last year right here.
This is where Roy Williams went airborne and deflected the ball out of Chris Sims' hands into Teddy Lehman's hands. This time it's the Sooners backed up. They run it out to the 5-yard line. The Texas defense Corey Redding without a sack. He's been close. 17 quarterback pressures. He'd love to have his first sack here today. Derek Johnson stepped up big in this game off the bench, and he is a major linebacking force in the Big 12. Now, Nathan Basher has returned. Well, he didn't return. He let it roll dead, but he has been back to return a punt. And believe me, Oklahoma will test that tender ankle of his. Number 3, he's wearing the gloves back there. Now Hibble rolling to the right, firing, dropped. Incomplete. Mark Clayton, the intended receiver.
The pass was intended for number 9.
Wonderful call. Get Hibble out of the pocket. Man-to-man to the outside. Clayton against Basher. Runs about a 15-yard comeback pass, and the timing was perfect, and the throw was perfect. Brent Hibble's 0 for 3, but he's had 2 drops already in this game.
Hey, Gary, let's see what he's got here now. 3rd down and 6. Shotgun look for number 8. Snaps it off. And this time Clayton hangs on for the first down. That's Clayton's 10th catch of the year. He also scored a pair of touchdowns. He picks up 13 yards, and so number 9 gives Hibble a fresh set of downs.
This one was thrown behind. This was probably Hibble's worst throw of the day, but watch Clayton make the tough catch in the zone right here. Texas came at him with a zone blitz, and they threw the seam pass right in there, and Clayton redeems himself.
Little breathing room now for the Sooner attack. Griffin back in as the running back. Still using that H-back look, and here comes number 22, burrowing right straight ahead with Kalen Thornton hanging on.
Let's take a look at what both teams are trying to do on offense in this game. Score or punt. Obviously, turnovers are going to be something. You want to score, but make sure you punt the ball. Protect the quarterback. Both of these quarterbacks do not run well out of the pocket. They must be protected, and I don't think either team can drive the distance. We saw this game last year, so explosive plays, big passes, big runs will determine the outcome.
Will Peoples goes out to the left, and Hibble stays back in that shotgun. Wants Griffin again. An alley open on the right. He ran into his own man. Bounced off. Daylight midfield. To the 31-yard line. Quentin Griffin and Pearson, the free safety, pulls him down.
Texas had a tough time lining up, and Reed Boyd, number 45, was unblocked and missed the tackle. Watch Boyd, 45, runs right by him, doesn't make the tackle, and then Quentin bumps into his own guy, changes directions like bumper pool, and makes the long run.
Quentin Griffin, 3 carries now for 55 yards. That's the 45-yard run. Slot formation, 3 wide to the left. Smith tightens up the end of the formation on the right. Hibble has time, fires, intercepted at the 7-yard line. Picked off by Pearson, and Pearson comes up with his 4th interception of the season. That ends Hibble's streak of consecutive passes without an interception. It's his first pick this season. You have to go all the way back to last year before Hibble had coughed up an interception. That a bad one as he threw to the middle of the defense. There is a penalty flag. That's why we have Tom Allers and this officiating crew huddling up. The umpire is Jim Jankowski, but your referee is Allers. Probably after the interception, an illegal block, so Texas will keep the football.
You see, Hibble makes the ultimate quarterback sim. He makes, without the throw down the middle, without checking to see if there's a free safety, thinking he had man-to-man coverage, and he does not account for the guy in the middle of the field. His eyes are left all the way. He thinks he's got a touchdown. That is quarterbacking 101 right there.
We're scoreless in the Red River Shootout. No person has been more discussed or dissected leading up to this game than number 2 for the Texas Longhorns, who's under center. Their senior quarterback now, Chris Sims, who has so much to prove, so very much to prove in this game here today. He uses number 32, Cedric Benson, who goes nowhere. Now, Sims this year has been very efficient. He's completed 56% of his passes. But take a look at what happened to him against the Sooners last year. 4 interceptions. He has not fared well against top 10 competition. So this is Chris Sims center stage today. Second down and 11. A fake, plenty of time. The middle, it's Benson. Benson out to the 34-yard line. We send you to John Saunders in New York for this update.
And the old Navy update, UCLA against Oregon. The Bruins up 7-0 early. Corey Paz had a touchdown pass. Jason Fife comes right back to George Reister. Nice job to hang on to the ball and get to the end zone for the touchdown. It is tied at 7. Brent.
Third down for Sims and 5 yards to go. Mack Brown's backfield is empty. The offensive line has done a job so far. Harris got through once, can't get there this time. The slant complete and a beautiful grab by Sloan Thomas. Longhorn first down.
Sloan Thomas is the leading receiver on this football team. And if you don't get to Chris Sims, he's going to pick you apart. Playing off right here. 3rd and 5, given that much space. Now watch this slant ball. The ball is put where the only spot it could be, and he makes a beautiful catch.
Against a tough corner. Derek Strait is as good as they come. Number 2 on that side.
These two guys, both of them, 2 and 17. Watch them.
First down, Sims and the Horns. Right straight ahead. Our Nivea for men starting lineup, and here the offensive line for the Horns, and they have to help Sims. They have so far. They have been pretty efficient. Once they let Tommy Harris through, he did not get the sack last year, and it is still a bone of contention for Longhorn fans, and the fact that Cedric Benson, then a freshman, did not carry the ball once in that game. He has been very active here today. Benson has already carried it 5 times. Second down now and 5 for Sims and the Horn. There's Benson for the first down. The workhorse with perhaps his best carry of the game, tackled by Lance Mitchell on his Sooner defense. Judgment day for this defensive line. Tommy Harris ballyhooed before the season began, and he's a dandy. But they are searching for Cedric all day long, and that time they could not keep him short of that first down. They'll run it, Pasha Jackson today. Roy Williams is now suiting up with the Dallas Cowboys, but number 38 is one of the finest college safeties we've seen in years. So again, the Horns have a first down in Oklahoma territory. The second time today they've crossed the 50. Play fake by Sims is a beauty. Can he get the open man? Streak, sideline. Out of bounds. Inside the 5 at the 2-yard line is Roy Williams, who came in with a tender hamstring, but has just burned the Sooners for 44 yards.
When I was in Austin on Thursday, Chris Sims said, watch for the play-action passes. Going down the sideline, Roy Williams says he's 92.3%. You can see he doesn't quite have it. He throttles, the ball's in the air. Looks like he can't really open up, but that is a perfect throw from Sims.
There is a perfect example of how much they miss Roy Williams. Eric Bassey, the freshman, redshirt freshman who has replaced him, number 13, could not keep up with the wideout. The power eye look for the Longhorns. Benson toward the end zone. Apparently just short of the goal line, so it'll be second down, and don't bet against number 32 coming right at the Sooners again.
I really like the way Greg Davis, offensive coordinator, has helped Mack Brown get this offense started. Quarterback draw, 2 screens, a reverse. He's not allowing that Oklahoma defense to tee off on Sims.
Sims puts the first touchdown on the board against Oklahoma.
He's put on weight. He said he's ready. And he stuffs one in the end zone, and he should have. He made the throw to make this thing alive. Remember that great slant he threw also to get the first down.
Some are calling this Super Saturday, others Showdown Saturday. For number 2 at Texas, it could be Redemption Saturday. Dusty Mangum tacks on the extra point. And the cover boy for the Texas Longhorns leads them down the field for the first touchdown of the game. You'll watch number 4, Roy Williams, who's been saving that tender hamstring for Oklahoma. A beautifully thrown spiral on the money behind the safety. Then it was Sims himself taking it into the end zone. Texas leads now by 7. Fair is our backdrop, and Bevo is up and excited. His Rascals have scored first in the Red River Shootout, one of the great settings in all of college football. I certainly hope if you enjoy college football, someday you get a chance to come down to the Texas State Fair and drop in on the Cotton Bowl and see this rivalry. It is one of the greatest in the college game.
Bring your money, though. These aren't cheap seats around here.
So Oklahoma to handle it again. Texas with the good kickoff man. Savage takes a knee. He did not to start the game, and it cost Oklahoma. But this one comes out on the 20. Timeout. So we are back at the Red River Shootout. And Hibble has started very slowly. If you want a difference in the game, it is Hibble 1 of 5 and Sims 4 of 5. There's your difference right now.
And Hibble needs his receivers to make some plays. He's got playmakers out there. Fagan, Savage, Clayton, Peoples, Brandon Jones. And they're going to have to help him. 2 drop balls and no running game, except for the long run by Quentin Griffin.
Conley and Smith, the tight ends. Here comes Griffin. He finds daylight again. Well, let's check in with our colleague Jack Arute. Jack, I want you to know that Andy Rooney says you're doing a heck of a job, my friend.
Brent, let me explain to you. The one thing about the Red River Shootout is right at the 50-yard line. It's half the Longhorns and it's half the Oklahoma Sooners. When Chris Sims came off the field, the first thing he did, he went up to the Sooner side and gave him the old.
I think Jack was kidnapped. There's a hand off. And Griffin again running very well in this game. I remember what we told you when we had the lineups 2 years ago. He popped the horns for 6 touchdowns. He's now carried 5 times for 72 yards here today.
And if you talk to the Oklahoma coaches, Chuck Long said, we have not been getting Quentin Griffin enough touches. We need to feature him as a running back. We have to help him out. And I think that looks good if you're Oklahoma, seeing him get in the secondary, making guys miss.
Hibble's in the gun, and he has been all game long. Likes to roll the pocket off to the right. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line is Trent Smith, the senior tight end. Well, one double agent reaches a turning point as the 2 men in her heart meet for the first time. New alias, ABC tomorrow, 9, 8 Central.
Football fans, Brent Musburger secretly tapes that show.
That'd be the day. Second down now, and here he comes again. Griffin. But there is a penalty flag on the far side. Another penalty flag after another big game. And the Oklahoma offensive line is gashing big holes in Carl Reese's defense. That's 23 more yards.
That's exactly what new run game coordinator Kevin Wilson would love to give Nate Hibble in this football game.
So they'll take this gain.
Illegal substitution by the defense. Decline. First down.
Texas had 12 men on the field.
And still couldn't stop Quinn.
That's right. They had him on the other side of the field.
Off to a huge, huge start. And most of his starts have been right straight ahead. There hasn't been anything fancy about Quentin Griffin's running game here so far. Just like that little delay, hesitation. Let's take a look at what Quentin Griffin has done here so far. He is now over 100 yards.
And he's done it with the draw, with the sweep, with the counter, and the offensive line. As you said, so much under the microscope has started off this game blocking Texas.
Now it is up to Hibble to finish this off. Remember, he was threatening when he threw the interception inside the 10-yard line, and Texas marched down for a score. Now what Hibble wants to be is very efficient here and get this game tied up. And they're going to keep it right on the ground until Texas adjusts. They're going to keep pounding straight ahead. Another 1st and 10. And Kevin Wilson has to be very, very pleased with this offensive line.
Nice scheme here. Watch the guy pull and Quentin Griffin read the block and cut behind. A little bit of finesse and a little bit of power. He fouls it right behind, goes right behind Derek Johnson on the play.
Griffin this time battles his way to the 12-yard line.
Remember, OU had so much trouble running the ball against Alabama and South Florida and Missouri, but today
He's a pretty good.
Produced passing yards later in the game.
Kewan Jones checks in as the Sooners running back, gets the carry, and Johnson hitting first, number 11. Let's check in on an update with Penn State. Here's John Saunders.
Brent, it's already been a great season for the Nittany Lions, coming off back-to-back losing seasons. Here's a big reason why. Larry Johnson takes it and goes 17 yards right through the Michigan secondary for the touchdown. The Lions lead it 7-0. Brent.
All right, John, and here the Longhorns lead at 7-0. Oklahoma threatening. 3rd down and 4. If the Horns stop them, they would force a field goal attempt, you would think. 3 down linemen for the Horns defensively. Hibble fires, deflected away, incomplete. He wanted Smith that time, and that will set up 4th down as Nathan Basher, number 3, makes the play on the corner, and the field goal man trots onto the field.
They like the matchup here. The tall Trent Green against the smaller corner, but the ball was thrown to Trent Smith, excuse me. And you know what? Oklahoma was trying to call timeout. They wanted to get Quentin Griffin back in the game. They couldn't do it.
Trey DiCarlo will attempt a 29-yarder. Nat McCoy, the holder, who threw that pass against Missouri, puts it down, and DiCarlo nails it. The Sooners are on the board. It's Texas 7, Oklahoma 3 at the Red River Shootout. Texas leading Oklahoma 7-3. Hot, little humid down there, and perhaps some cramps for Griffin, who has handled the ball 9 times, exactly half of Oklahoma's offensive plays here. He has rushed for 117 yards. We still have a minute to go in the first quarter. DiCarlo will put the ball on the tee after nailing the field goal. Selvin Young, the freshman, on the left. He too wears number 3, just like Basher. Don't get them confused. The way we're trying to tell them is that Basher is wearing gloves today, and Selvin Young is not. He's very dangerous back there, along with Ivan Williams. We'll see how Oklahoma elects to play it here, trailing 7-3 in the first quarter.
Both teams, I think, feel good about the start. Texas has Sims going, and Oklahoma has Griffin going.
He's going to come out from the corner. That was a terrific kickoff. And short of the 20-yard line, here comes Chris Sims. And Gary went to Austin and asked Chris, among other things, what about the difference in your quarterbacking this year?
Last year, maybe a little tentative at times and just not quite, just making the right decisions and going along with it, kind of second-guessing myself. And this year, I feel like, I walk up to the line of scrimmage, I have a pretty good idea where I'm going to go with the ball, and I just react and go.
Folks, if you knew Chris Sims or ever met him, you would pull for him to do well. Even as an Oklahoma fan, he is such a nice young man, as many of these players on both of these teams are. It is so difficult to pull against either of these great teams. Ivan Williams now is in that backfield with Benson. Sims the quarterback. Great play fake. Going back deep middle again. Intercepted. A great grab by number 17, Andre Woolfolk. That's why he's a big timer.
Another play action pass. B.J. Johnson is going to run the deep post. The ball is thrown a little late, but number 17 reacts pretty darn well when his ball gets in the air. Maybe he should. He played both ways for this team last year, and on that one, he said, I play wide receiver too. I can make this catch. What an interception.
That play alone is going to make that young man a lot of money. He's going to be able to play a shutdown corner with that size in the NFL because he can flat fly. Ronaldo Works is now the running back. And he'll get that little delay.
Okay, it's over.
Stop for about 4 yards. You can hear the umpire telling them to ease up, hold up, it's over. Play is over. Been whistled down. Wright, a freshman from Houston, makes the stop.
Texas is trying to attack the line of scrimmage with their linebackers, and Oklahoma keeps popping them through. Their linebackers are coming right at the line of scrimmage and trying to put pressure up the middle, and that Oklahoma offensive line keeps popping them and popping them.
Number 11, another of the so many outstanding players. We just have star college players on both sides here at the Red River Shootout. First quarter comes to an end. Biggest play of the quarter was this 44-yarder from Sims to Williams. It set up the Sims touchdown. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching ABC Sports, the class of college football.
With Gary Daniels and I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you along with us today. For a time, it looked as though we were going to play for number one. And then I guess Florida State was wide left rather than wide right.
I think
Miami wins.
Everybody's happy with the stakes already. They're high enough around here. It's a typical game. More offense, though, than last year. Remember last year, guys like Roy Williams were making plays. This year, it looks like both offense are controlling the game so far.
Nate Hibble of Oklahoma back in the gun on 2nd and 5 as we start the second quarter. Ronaldo Works, who has replaced Quentin Griffin. Griffin's still out, and perhaps it's cramps. We don't know. Reed Boyd making the stop for Texas.
Again, look at the technique that Texas is doing. He comes in and attacks the line of scrimmage, and Boyd comes off. They've been doing this all game, attacking those gaps. They really believe that Oklahoma takes their splits a little too wide and they can disrupt the run offense before it gets started. So far, hadn't done it.
Been a difference, though, with Works, who's carried twice for only 2 yards, and Griffin over 100 yards is on the sideline. 3rd down and 8 for Hibble. Here comes the blitz by Basher. Hibble is in trouble. Basher's got him by the heel. Basher, number 3, came off the corner on the blitz and got the job done.
A passing situation. Carl Reese goes with a 3-man line. He bluffs from one side and comes from the other side. Bluffing over here, but on this side comes the Vasher, number 3. Times it perfectly, and you're not going to outrun Vasher, not Nate Hibble.
Vasher stays on the field to return this punt. Ferguson punting for OU. Standing inside the Sooners' 25-yard line. Vasher runs up and going to try a return to the 31-yard line, where Sims and the Horns will put it in play as Trent Smith got downfield to make the stop. We've got a timeout.
Goodrich service.
Here at the Cotton Bowl, the Sooners athletic trainers are still working, Brent, on Quentin Griffin. He's been consuming a lot of liquids. It is very hot, as you said, very humid. And I'll tell you what, I think he's cramped up, but not in the legs, but in the stomach area. The abs are what are bothering him.
All right, Jack, so we'll keep an eye on that. Right now it is the Horns with the ball, coming out from their own 31-yard line for Chris Sims. And running Benson. And he is stopped at the 34-yard line. Time now for our Pacific Life game summary, and we have had some fireworks galore. First it was Pearson playing center field for the Horns, shutting down OU. Then Texas marched down for its lone touchdown. Sims scoring it over the middle. Then Andre Wolfolk with a great catch-up interception. One-time wide receiver picked it clean. Hibble brought down by Vasher on the blitz. And we stand at 7-3 Texas. In the second quarter, second down and 7. Sims, that short drop, fires it off to Sloan Thomas for a first down at the 46-yard line. Mitchell back to make the tackle.
Nice play design on this. Oklahoma comes with one of their zone blitz looks. They keep a man in center field 99% of the time, and they like the blitz off of it. But that time with the quick drop and the quick throw, you got one-on-one to the outside.
When you watch Chris Sims and you just watch him throw, whether it be in practice or in a game, you just shake your head because, ladies and gentlemen, it is $1 million arm.
Take a break here, fellas.
Sometimes he tries to force ball to coverage, force it in there, and not always successful. Right now, he's going to take a timeout. We will too. ABC Sports presentation of college different with what Texas is doing offensively here in the early going.
Absolutely. Last year, only 6 times did Texas have 2 backs in the backfield. So far in this game, that's been the predominant formation.
And with the 2 backs, here's the 1st and 10. They've offset the fullback to the left. They're going to bring the end around. Here's Williams. There's daylight. Williams midfield. First down plus some to the 36-yard line. Tommy Harris ran the wide receiver down, taking the angle. Unbelievable for 97. Wow. Folks, it's time for the Aflac trivia question. And this week's question is, which ex-Longhorn legend left his Texas pride behind to broadcast Oklahoma football games in the 1930s? First down and 10. And the running back is tripped up. Let's go back to that previous play.
Now you talk about guys that are earning money on this field. Inside is Tommy Harris, number 75. Number 4 comes around on the reverse. And watch 97 get off the pile, get up, and run this guy down. Here he is. Look at him. 97, right side of your screen, and save the tackle. That's a true sophomore defensive tackle running down a receiver. Woo. A lot of picking out there, isn't there, Brent, for talent?
Absolutely. Empty backfield for Sims. Short drop. Intercepted by Strait. There is that force in the coverage. And Strait was there. A penalty flag is thrown by the referee after the interception.
Dusty Dvorak is going to get called for unnecessary roughness on this. But Kyle Shanahan quit on the play.
Dead ball. After the play was intercepted, we have a personal foul on Oklahoma, hitting a defensive player.
Slant pass. Shanahan must get across number 2's body. You see Shanahan stop on the play no matter what. Do not let that corner beat you to the ball, and Strait made a wonderful play.
Where's Strait from? Austin, Texas. Timeout. Well, Dvorak thinks he's blocking on an interception.
Yeah, you see Sims standing there. The whistle head blew. Dvorak's going to get called. But watch Chris Sims get up and talk to Kyle Shanahan and say, Kyle, I'm depending on you to cross the face of that defensive back. Both guys, miscommunication there.
Stoops was yelling at the official because he thinks Dvorak should have been allowed to level the quarterback after the interception. You must get ready to play defense after you've given up an interception. First down and 10. Hibble rolls the pocket to the right. Redding in pursuit, and he is out of bounds. Well, earlier we asked you the Affleck trivia question. Which ex-Longhorn left his Texas pride behind to broadcast Oklahoma football games in the 30s? Folks, believe it or not, the answer is Walter Cronkite. Of course, he went on to become one of the most well-known voices, if not the best-known voice of the 20th century. Be a good debate between Walter and Edward R. Murrow as to which voice best defined that particular century. But a little bit of trivia involving Walter Cronkite and Oklahoma and Texas. Just one of the best rivalries in all of sports. Second down and 15 for Hibble. Back in the gun. Fires wide open is Antoine Savage. We are at the bottom of the hour. The Texas State Fair is our background here at the Cotton Bowl. Midway rather quiet right now because of this. And our OU offensive leaders against Texas. Hibble only 3 of 8, a very costly interception. Griffin out with what appears to be cramps, but he rushed for 117 yards early on. Clayton, their leader, 1 catch for 13 yards. Now a big third down. Sooners need 2. Hibble to the middle, has got it and then some. Number 12, Curtis Fagan, the senior wide receiver, with his 15th catch of the year. So Oregon, UCLA, big in the Pac-10. Let's go to John to find out what's happening.
Brent, a lot of big plays in this game as well. Duberback actually threw for a touchdown pass deep. And here, Terrence Whitehead bounces right back and takes it 37 yards for the touchdown as Oregon evens the score at 14 apiece. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Brent.
That's a great rivalry, John. I can remember being at the Rose Bowl when Cade McNown coughed up everything in the middle of that game. First down and 10. Now Hibble. Deep middle. Incomplete. And again, that center fielder Pearson was taking a shot at it. Well, what have we got here Monday night on the network? We're going to go to the Great Northwest. Hope John Madden's bus can make it up there. San Francisco 49ers will be there. Jeff Garcia and gang, they'll be taking on Sean Alexander and the Seahawks. That's 9 Eastern. And of course, that's 7 Mountain Time, up and down the Rocky Mountains.
That's how you like it, isn't it?
You can't beat it. During the football season, it's the best time zone in America, folks. Second down now and 10. And Quentin Griffin back on the field is run out of bounds by that Horn defense. Well, the Big 12 Conference. Kevin Weiberg, the commissioner, dropped by the booth early on and big smile on his face. Nebraska beats Missouri here today, and A&M all over Baylor. Some of the others now, Colorado ahead. Kansas State cruising against Oklahoma State, and tonight another big one. Texas Tech up in Ames to play Iowa State.
Looks like everyone in the Big 12 held serve today.
And the Cyclones will be favored, Gary, in that game tonight by about a touchdown.
Right.
Smith. And we've got a penalty flag. So Nate Hibble, what a nice story this is for Oklahoma. He lost that job a couple of times back under center.
Prior to the snap, ball start on the offense, 5 yards, remains still down.
Let's check in for more on Nate, and here's Jack.
Well, Brent, don't say to Mike Stoops or Bob Stoops, either of them, that Nate Hibble is playing it safe and just playing mistake-free football. They curl up at that comment and say, no, Nate Hibble is playing excellent football. They say he's far more confident than this time 1 year ago. They say that he's playing excellent football and making big plays. He's going to have to make a big one now, Brent, 3rd and 12.
Hibble steps. He won't get it. Oklahoma must punt it away. Marcus Tubbs, the junior defensive tackle, applying the pressure.
Texas goes 3-man line, play a zone, and Hibble says punting is better than forcing something in there. He didn't have it. Let's give it back to the defense.
Blake Ferguson back to punt again, the brother of Jeff Ferguson, who punted so well for the Sooners for the last couple of years. You see from behind him. 34, identifying a potential blocker. Kept clean for the return. Fair catch at the 10-yard line. And that's where Sims and the Longhorns will put it in play. 7-3, Texas leads. Timeout.
Howdy, Big Tex. I'm standing in the shadow of Big Tex. It's been part of the Texas State Fair for over 50 years. In fact, it's the place, Brent, where everybody meets. Texas and OU, they face off here in the shadow of Big Tex.
Okay, back to you upstairs there in the booth, Brent.
Well, thanks a lot, Big Tex. I hope Jack makes it back for the second half. He's out there on the midway, folks. First down now for Sims and the Horns. Coming out on their own 10-yard line.
Cedric Benson must come through, only 19 yards rushing.
That's a good first down run. Very solid with Pasha Jackson, 53, hanging on Cedric.
It's that delayed ISO draw that a lot of teams are running right now. Sims comes back, keeps his eyes downfield. You got the lead blocker. Get the ball deep to number 32 and let him find daylight. Trouble is, against this Oklahoma defense, they close that daylight down very quickly. Teddy Lehman and the boys.
Second down and 6, and the Horns stick with that fullback. Benson pounds to the middle for the first down. Longhorns with good running backs, and it's almost a cliche. You hear it all the time. They get so much better the more carries they get and the further they go along in the game. And I think he was just about a half-yard short over there.
It's really close. So if you want to have fun today watching football, watch number 11 on both defenses. Teddy Lehman and Derek Johnson, the two really outstanding linebackers. Keep your eyes on number 11. You'll have a good time.
Not that much to go.
Number 11 just to the outside over here, I think. Comes into the screen. Fills it very nicely, playing where Rocky Kelmus played last year.
Well, here's your third and a short. .805 and counting. Took a long time in that huddle for a straight-ahead dive, didn't they? Tight formation. Sims himself, just like he did for the touchdown, and Oklahoma seizes the opportunity to give him the business.
Looked like his forward progress got it.
Yeah, I think he had it. Not much doubt about it. Well, tomorrow, join ABC Sports for final round coverage of the Inventus Classic in Las Vegas. Live at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. Got to be a few folks out in Vegas watching this football game, don't you think, Gary?
I'll bet there is.
First down and 10. And now it is Texas offensive line trying to open up some holes for Cedric Benson. Number 32 gets up. He was a high school sensation down in Midland, Texas. Legendary. I was plays baseball in the Dodgers farm system. I believe he was down at Vero Beach last year, down in the Florida State League.
Following after Ricky Williams' football career.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricky was his boyhood hero. He used to keep all the clippings and pictures of Ricky. He's very favorably compared with the stats that he's put up early. There's a penalty flag. I believe Cedric moved this time. Now there it is against Texas. And, you know, head coach Mack Brown, he talked to Gary about the importance of the running game here.
To me, you got to make some plays in the running game before you can make consistent plays in the passing game, because it's hard for those old offensive linemen to block those great defensive linemen if they know it's going to be a pass.
Yeah, it's hard. Those little old linemen, Mack.
Yeah,
they go about 306 pounds.
All of them, and Mack should know he's 37-0 when he outrushes his opponents, and he knows if he can tilt that running game in his favor, number 2 will have an easier time. But right now he's trailing badly.
And Sims needs a big play here. Texas empties the backfield. And Sims a quarterback draw. The umpire had to quickly sidestep out of the way. I don't think the umpire expected that play that time. He was a little bit slow in getting off to the right. You know, those umpires in the NFL, when John Elway was bringing it in inside that 20-yard line for the Broncos, that was high alert time for that guy with the U on the back of the shirt.
Well,
because John would make that work.
Well, those umpires watch film too, and they say, Chris, we didn't know you ran the quarterback draw.
This is not Brad Smith. This is not Missouri. 3rd down and 6. Sims eyes the defensive set now.
3-man line again.
Has that slot man to the left, but he looks back to the short side and comes down deep. He's got an open man. Incomplete.
Well, he threw it out of bounds.
He had his receiver, B.J. Johnson, wide open. That would have been a quick 6.
B.J. down at the bottom of the field. Right here, you see it's going to be a zone look from this Oklahoma defense. Man in the middle of the field. It's not bad to miss the guy, but you must keep this ball in bounds and give him a chance to catch the ball.
Now it's Oklahoma's turn. Brian Bradford to punt, and Antonio Perkins is a good one. Returning punts. He's got a chance here to ignite the Sooners. There's a violation. It isn't going to matter because that halo was violated. So might as well bring it on back.
Couldn't run it in anyway on the muff, but you're right, inside the halo again, and that's why you don't see guys fair catch anymore. They figure I'll take my chances with a 2-yard halo rule.
And remember the penalty this year at 10 yards rather than 5.
That's because a lot of coaches last year were willing to give up the 5 yards and just pierce the halo. They didn't care.
Little doubt about.
They gave him the 15 though on this one. Now, I don't know about that. He wasn't trying to lay the guy
I wonder if
out.
he wasn't pushed in.
I thought he was.
I think somebody pushed him into it.
This is a bad call right here. He stops. You see, he clearly stops. That's a bad call.
It was the Oklahoma player and not Michael Unger. Michael Unger is trying to hold up number 29, and the Oklahoma player squeezes through right there and actually interferes with him.
Yeah, you see, Mack.
Now, if he was outside of 2 yards, and that becomes very questionable about Unger, but if he was outside, that should be Texas football.
Well, I thought he still was within 2 yards.
Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility of that, which is simply a halo violation.
It should have been a 10-yard penalty. Now, Mack says you owe me one. That was a bad call. We know you can't change it, but you owe me one.
Well, let's take a look now at our Nissan Drive summary on Oklahoma. They've had 5 possessions, 167 yards. They've punted 3 times, 1 interception, and a field goal, but they have got great field position right now. Nate Hibble with a first down on the Horns, 46-yard line. Griffin back in the game. Griffin flares. Hibble looks further down, incomplete. The intended receiver was Mark Clayton.
Texas has made an adjustment in that formation when Trent Smith goes to one side and the 3 wide receivers go to the other. Instead of putting their corner Vasher on him, they have now moved their strong safety on him. A good adjustment by Texas.
2nd down and 10 for Hibble, who is 4 of 11 for 44 yards. And Smith
You know who's quiet? Number 40, Corey Redding. He has not made a play in this game.
Middle high, incomplete. The ball was in the air and the center fielder was coming over, but he could not change direction that quickly, and Pearson was unable to get back.
One-on-one, you see he's got a matchup now against the safety instead of a corner. 6'5" guy. You shouldn't overthrow this one, and that was thrown behind. Kibble again. He's used to getting rocked by Texas. The running game has left Oklahoma. Now it seems to be back to the throwing game.
Third down for Hibble. They'll try Griffin. Won't get the first down. Let's check in on UCLA and Oregon. Here's John again. Shootout there. Here defense starting to dominate. John 7-3. Texas with the lead, and OU is punting. Basher is back deep now for the Horns, standing on their 10-yard line. Blake Ferguson. Basher wants this one to go to the end zone, but it won't. It is down at the 2-yard line, and so just like last year late, Chris Sims is now backed up in the shadow of his own goal. This is when Mike Stoops called slam dog last year, and Roy Williams came flying. He was supposed to stay on his feet between guard and tackle, and instead he came right over the top. Went right over Robbins to the back. Watch it. Forced the interception, and Teddy Lehman dashed in to put the game away for Oklahoma. And now in the shadow of that same goal, here comes Chris Sims and the Horns. This time they elect to run it with Cedric Benson getting no more than a yard, and Oklahoma gangs up on him. And a reminder now, coming up on the Valvoline Halftime Show, John and Terry Bowden will have highlights and analysis from this huge day in college football showdown on Saturday. You know, John, if you're listening, my colleague Gary Danielson, I think, made a great point during the Miami-Florida State game. He thinks Terry's daddy should have gone for 2 and not 1 on their last touchdown to leave him on 28 or 26, because there's not much difference. Maybe we can hear what Terry has to say about that. Second down now and 9 yards.
Okay, it's over.
Benson is short of the 5-yard line because of Teddy Lehman. Lehman is such an outstanding active linebacker.
And he's moved over to that spot where Rocky Kalmus played a year ago. That's that weak spot. Comes in a little bit more speed, and it's tough to block him from that thing. It's more of a playmaker spot than the middle linebacker spot. Do you trust Chris Sims to throw the ball down here? He's got 2 picks so far in the game.
Brett Robin is his protector. He did not throw, but he didn't get there because of number 10, Lance Mitchell. The JC transfer came up and delivered a whack to the Texas quarterback.
If you talk to the Oklahoma coaches, they're saying Lance Mitchell is coming on. He's the leading tackler, and he gets better and better every game. First-year starter, staying in the dime situation right here, and when Sims runs, he says, boy, this is better than tackling that quarterback from Missouri.
Bradford punting again out of his end zone. And here's Perkins. Beats the first man and then slips at the 45-yard line.
I think that's the Texas fans wanting holding on one of the gunners coming down that time. You know, when you got half the field like this, somebody boos on every play.
2:24 left in the first half. Texas 7, Oklahoma 3.
Let's see if Oklahoma doesn't go deep. Chuck Long said this year he wants to throw more deep balls. Let's see if Oklahoma doesn't try to air one out here.
Corey Redding gets down on the left side of the line. He has been well blocked here today. He's covering Griffin this time. And Hibble sees the middle wide open, and he runs for 12 yards and an Oklahoma first down at the 33. Great awareness by Hibble, who saw the middle wide open.
Wide open is an understatement. You see him peel off here. The Sooners wanted to go deep, but a good block by Works, number 47, and look at that. Andy, but you don't have to be 4'6" to pick up a first down on that. You could be a 5 flat guy to get that first down.
Smith is out to the right. Basher takes him one-on-one. First down, OU. Now Hibble. Intercepted. Nothing but green real estate. Hibble will come over on Babers. Touchdown, Texas. He can't get there. 72 yards on the interception by Roderick Babers, his second pick of the year, as the running back did not turn around and never saw the pass coming. Dusty Mangum on the field for the extra point. Texas.
This pass was called by Oklahoma expecting a man-to-man coverage. It was not. Works was going to go out and up right here, and these two guys are going to try to pick. It doesn't work if the other team is playing zone defense, and when Hibble lays it up, there's the corner just standing there saying, thank you very much. Good call, Carl Reese. Put me in zone instead of man-to-man, and Hibble misreads it for a touchdown for the Longhorns. Nate Hibble thinks he's got a pick to the outside. One-on-one coverage, lays it up. A critical mistake, his second of the game. Works has no chance for it, and that's a disaster waiting to happen. You see it right there. Babers, who had the big interception last week against Oklahoma State, gets another one.
A year ago, Bebo's favorite football team was held to one field goal. Here today, the Horns have scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. One on offense and one on defense.
When you call a play like that, you depend on your quarterback to determine whether it's man or zone to make the proper read. He was wrong.
Picked up at the 3 by Savage. Savage with daylight. Midfield, and he can explode. 20 down to the 17-yard line. The Sooners are in business. Dorian McCullough saved the touchdown, but it was an 81-yard return by the senior Antoine Savage.
Playmakers, playmakers, playmakers. Big-time college football. Explosive plays are happening all over the field. Special teams, passing game, kicking game. And this time Savage could have scored if it wasn't for number 4, the freshman. The backup corner makes the play.
The shotgun, Hibble, pump fake now, fade to the corner of the end zone, incomplete.
Oh, wonderful job by Babers that time, Brent.
On Peoples.
Yes, absolutely. They went slant and go, and Babers just covered it as well as you can that time. Peoples, the playmaker, out the side, he went slant and go. They tried to go right back at him. The ball is laid up, and look at number 21. Nuh-uh. You are not getting that play on me.
Second down and 10. inside handoff for the running play. And Griffin is stopped just short of the 15-yard line. Roderick Wright. So we're at the top of the hour. And Texas set up its first touchdown with the bomb to Roy Williams. Chris Sims took it in. The second one belonged to the defense. Babers interception, and he goes the distance for 71 yards. We stand at 14-3 right now.
Play clock's running down. Oklahoma's going to take a timeout.
Hibble will come over to the sideline. And so, Gary, the one play that Oklahoma would really love to have back is this one.
Yes, that's right. I mean, throwing a kind of a trick play, a gimmick play. One of the finesse offense from Roger Babers steps right in for 7 points.
And we've got a timeout. Texas leads it. But Oklahoma threatening. But it is a third down coming up now. Sooners need 9 yards here on this play. The offensive line identifies who they'll block. Hibble waits, got an open man. Can he get the first down? He will not get the first down. He hesitated. Will Peoples did just a fraction of an instant, and that allowed Michael Huff and the Horns to gather round.
Good read by Nate Hibble that time. It looked like he stumbled, didn't it, to you, as he looked up and saw that place there? And maybe that grass down there. Jack told us before the game that it was spongy out there, and I wonder if he just didn't stumble trying to cut up.
Another timeout is going to be used here by Oklahoma. They have 1 to go. 22 seconds on the game clock. They've got a fourth down. In the NFL, this would be an automatic field goal attempt at this point in the game. Now, Bob Stoops and the Sooner coaches may think differently here.
Peoples is going to come across. I agree with you. He's got to be thinking about this. He's wide open on the play. They cross their receivers. Hibble puts it right on stride with it. Well, actually, he was a little bit behind, but he stumbled on the play, and that allowed the tackle short of the first down. I think you got to make it. I think you have to make it an 8-point game. Peoples makes a nice catch on that one as he turns up trying to get the first down. He stumbles, and this defense is too quick.
If they're going to kick it, Gary, they're taking an awfully long time down there to make that decision, which leads you to believe that Coach Stoops may be wanting to gamble on it, as you see our quarterback comparison. And interceptions have ruled the first half, folks.
Really has.
4 of them, 2 apiece.
Well, Oklahoma has 1 more timeout. I wonder if they don't go up there and try to draw them off sides and then kick the field goal if they don't make it.
Well, they bring out the offense. Griffin the running back, Hibble the quarterback. They come right to the line. They flex Smith, giving them 4 wide targets. And now the official stops it. And now I believe it's Texas going to use a timeout here. They wanted to see what Oklahoma was going to come out with.
Like,
the wheels are turning on both sides, folks. Now look at the defensive huddle of Texas on that far side. 4th down and 3. 22 seconds each side with a timeout. The Sooners have still not broken the huddle. Still have not shown their hand, especially to the coaches upstairs, as to the personnel package that they're going to send out. The coaches upstairs want that as much as anything to see who should be on the field defensively. And here come the Sooners again with Hibble. And it looks like basically the same formation.
It is. Same formation, same group of personnel.
Basically 4 wide outs, but this time they bring that H back, and they turn him back around to the right. They got Texas to jump. There's the penalty flag. Incomplete, but I believe Texas jumped offside. The linesman now is coming over, and if so, that'll be a first down.
Great call by Stoops. He went for the gimmick play. If Texas jumps, they run the play. If not, they kick the field goal.
That was the motion man Smith. who came across like the H-back and reversed his field like you see so often on Sunday, and the defensive end jumps on it. Watch now.
Watch Hibble, too. He makes a blink right there, and when he stops right there, that is a beautiful design play. Give the Oklahoma credit. And now they have, with 18 seconds, at least 2 shots at the end zone.
Would you throw it in, Gary?
Got to throw it to the end. Well, they got a timeout, though, Brent, so they could do either way.
Antoine Griffin has rushed for 124 yards in the first half. Or I should say Quentin. Check that Quentin Griffin is out.
Oh, the gimmick play.
There's the gimmick play, and Hibble pretends that he puts it down, but the horns are ready. Ronaldo Works was in the game, and he picked it up.
Good try.
You remember, now we've got the last time I called. Oh, I remember Osborne and Switzer going at it when they used to put it down between the center and the guard, the fumblerooski.
I saw Northwestern run it last year. I've seen Michigan run this play. I think Texas has too.
That's where they got it, was from Northwestern.
That's right. Nice discipline. The play before, Texas didn't have the discipline. This time they come back. 10 seconds, though, they can still throw the ball in the end zone now. They can't run. Of course, Stoops might do anything, right?
Exactly. He's got the ball down at the 3-yard line.
You can take one, and then you judge to see if you get 2 quick throws to the end zone. Each play will take between 4 and 6 seconds.
Stoops and the Sooners are playing like it is the end of the 4th quarter rather than the end of the 2nd when you break that last play out there at that moment. But this is important because they're down 14-3, 10 seconds to try and make this a 14-10 game and give the Sooners a huge lift going into the locker room here at halftime.
Stoops tried to steal points, and you wonder why he just didn't try to throw the ball into the end zone. But if it works, we're all lauding him as Master Stoops again.
Now they put 3 wide receivers on the left side, you can see, of that formation. And they move Hibble up underneath center.
Texas takes a timeout.
So they have checked the personnel again. And now the Horn defense will meet about that. We've got a timeout. A lot of strategy on both sides here. And of course, next Saturday, we've got another great lineup of regional college football coming your way on ABC. Now for the Big 12, we still haven't made a choice because in all likelihood, it'll be the winner of this game that will show up. That's right, be either Texas, Kansas State, or Iowa State, Oklahoma. And then we got some other great regional action also coming your way. Ohio State, Wisconsin, Washington, USC, Wake Forest, Clemson. 3:30 Eastern or 2:30 Central, as Oklahoma lines up in a basic eye with Kewan Jones, the tailback. Hibble on fake, and Smith for the touchdown. A beautiful fake by Nate Hibble, and he hits Trent Smith. And that is Trent Smith's first touchdown of the season, believe it or not.
Oklahoma's going to go for 2 on this play to cap it all off and try to get 8 points right now and make it a 3-point game. Really like what Chuck Long did. He gave them 3 different formations after each timeout and really kept Texas off balance. They had no idea because they had a timeout left what they were going to do.
Would you go for 2 in this instance?
No, I don't. It's too early in the football game.
Shotgun for Hibble. Got a man. Hit the 2. Number 12, Curtis Bacon, the senior. It's a field goal advantage for the Horns, and that's all right now.
Tell you can't ask for much better coaching down the end of the half than Oklahoma's offensive coaches did. Give Chuck Long, give Kevin Wilson, give Bobby Stoops a lot of credit. Here's the touchdown. Smith comes in and out right there, and this is an easy pitch and catch for the touchdown. And then there was no doubt. He was going for two. Watt Smith slammed down and then delay and then come out. Beautiful play action pass. Hibble throws the floater right there. And then the two-pointer, receivers cross, and a cross up by the Texas defense, and they get an easy 2 points. Nate Hibble started out shakily in this first half, but ended strongly.
Now Oklahoma with that splendid sequence with just a handful of seconds left here.
Special teams, though, that kickoff return set it all up.
Number 3, deep. And number 26, Ivan Williams.
On the ground, down at midfield.
I think they wanted to go a little farther. Now they can have a throw into the end zone one play here.
That's going to give Sims a chance to crank up that arm.
They'll throw a jump ball to the end zone. I don't think there's any doubt. They don't have time for 2 plays to get a field goal, I don't think.
No, Sims will trot out. He's got Sloan Thomas, Roy Williams, B.J. Johnson, all our threats. Obviously, if you take a look at the Sooner defensive backfield, they're already starting to assemble back at about the 28-yard line.
It looks like Texas is going to take a knee. I wonder if they just don't want Sims to have another interception on his record here. This could easily be thrown into the end zone to get a cheap touchdown.
And instead, Texas will take the lead to the locker room here at intermission. 14-11, the Horns lead it. But the Sooners are right there. Antoine Savage gave the Sooners a chance for a last-minute touchdown when he ran 81 yards with a kickoff return. 14-11, Texas. Let's send you now to New York, and here is John Saunders.
You're watching ABC Sports, the class of college football.
Texas leads it by a field goal as we check in on the Pacific Live game summary. The stats from the first half will show you that perhaps the only difference in the game is the rushing yardage. If you note that, OU has outrushed Texas. And Gary, I know you thought that Cedric Benson was going to have to be a big man for the long.
I think so. And his longest run of the half, Brent, was just 9 yards. Now, Quentin Griffin got off in the first quarter, but only 7 yards in the second quarter. And I think that's why both quarterbacks are struggling in this game.
Yeah, both quarterbacks have been alternately good and bad in the first half of the game. Let's check in first with Chris Sims. This beautiful 44-yarder to Roy Williams set up the score. But then watch Andre Wolfo come over and snap this one off in the middle of the field for Nate Hibble early in the game. He was intercepted. Babers coming down for a 71-yarder, but late in the half, roll right, got Smith for the touchdown pass. Then they got the 2, and you can see the comparison. Sims has passed for 76 yards and Hibble for 54. But Hibble has the only touchdown pass of the game so far. Now for news from both sides of the field, let's check in with Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, Brent, the first thing I did is I asked Mack Brown, why did Texas select to take a knee? He said, Jack, remember, we get the ball in the second half. I think it goes a little deeper. You don't want to put Chris Sims in a compromising situation. Now, for Bob Stoops and his team in the Oklahoma locker room, a quiet air of confidence. They feel like they are playing well. I asked them, what was the turnaround? They said that late touchdown. And then he said, Jack, remember, Alabama.
Yes, Sooner magic is alive and well, and they always seem to pull that rabbit out of their hat, don't they, ladies and gentlemen?
Heck, Alabama, remember Missouri.
That's right.
Bevo's seen it all before, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Can I go get a cooler?
Nothing bothers him. You bet. Not even the Bevo barbecue they have up in Oklahoma City every year. Well, Texas will get the ball here to start the second half, up by 3 right now. Sooners trot out of the field. is great to look out and see the field split just in half. All the red is off to our right. All the orange off to the left over there. So Teddy Lehman and the defense will get ready to come on the field. You know, it'll take a little extra emotion this week with the ball on the tee now. Trey DiCarlo kicking it off here for the Sooners. Sylvan Young is back with Williams. Good kick. Coming out. Well, you know, we mentioned the emotion, and here's what Teddy Lehman had to say about extra emotion this week.
I don't know, maybe the fans create that extra buzz. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that we're born hating Texas. They hate us. You know, I don't know what it is, but it's there. You can tell.
Just born that way.
He had laid back talking, but he doesn't play laid back, does he? One of the fastest linebackers in college football, Teddy Lehman, right there.
Well, let's see if the Horns can do something with the first possession. This is why Coach Brown didn't air it out at the end of the half. He'll bring out that base I formation that they have used with the fullback set in front of Benson. Quick flip to the left side. The ball is whistled dead before the fumble. Robert Timmons with his second catch of the day. It was whistled down.
You can see they think Timmons is a good player with the ball after the catch. They've thrown 2 short passes to him. The wide receiver screen, and then the start the second half, they just gave it to him the outside. Just a true freshman. They like him with the ball. Made 5 guys miss, Brent, but only gained 3 yards.
Second down for Sims and the Horns. Here's Benson to the middle, got a big hole. Spins off a tackle. Fine run for the first down for number 32.
It's exactly what this Texas offense needs. They need to be able to keep those safeties involved in the run game so Chris can start picking those wide receivers to the outside. Oklahoma, with their 7 men up front, must stop the run game and allow those safeties to be wild card guys.
Fullback offset to the right. Throwing again on first down. Sims coming in underneath to the fullback that time. Ivan Williams, who had slipped out. 2 very high percentage passes thrown by Sims here at the start of the second half.
You can see the game plan, and it's a good one. Craig Davis and Mack Brown at halftime said, we want Chris Sims confident. We want to give him a few easy gimmies at the beginning of the half. They didn't want him to throw that interception at the end because they need him in the fourth quarter, and they need his team and him believing they can do it.
Now Benson, nothing doing. In the middle of that defense is number 11. He really took it on at the point of attack. Teddy Lehman just jumped all over that play.
10-11, 11-10. Lehman and Mitchell, those 2 guys are making play after play. They're not allowing Benson to get the long run. His long of the day, 9 yards.
So Teddy Lehman, one of the great linebackers. 6 tackles, 1 of them for a loss here already today. And he better get ready again. 3rd down and 2. Texas to throw, and Sims goes down in the arms of Jimmy Wilkerson, who had 3 sacks a year ago in the Red River Shootout and sacked Sims this time. There is, however, a penalty flag.
There is a flag down.
Sideline warning on the Oklahoma bench.
Just a warning.
Real interesting call here on 3rd down. Oklahoma did not believe Texas was going to run the ball. Watch this play action pass. 3rd and long, and number 45 says, I'm not going for any fake. I'm going right for number 2, and that is very tough to pass block when you're trying to fake a play-action pass for that offensive lineman and still handle number 45.
Brian Bradford, the punter. Off to his left. Does get it off. Had pressure in the middle. Texas roll to the 25-yard line. Well, Oklahoma's last drive was started by the savage 81-yard kickoff return as he wound his way down the field. Then the boot pass to Smith, and finally the two-point conversion as Fagan pulls it down, and the Sooners draw to within a field goal, and they dash out onto the field here in Dallas. You see Griffin's the running back, 22. Hibble finished the half much stronger than he started it. He'll be the question mark for the Sooners here in the second half. Wants that inside shuffle pass. Griffin bounces off his own man and cannot get free. Mike Skinner, the guard, in his way that time, and Griffin and he collided. Thornton with the stop. Well, this Texas defense has only given up 104 yards rushing against them all season. They kind of got hit between the eyes in the first quarter when Griffin went at him for 117, but they've settled down really nicely now. They feel really confident, little shovel pass, and you can see Oklahoma continues to probe to try to get big plays for Quentin Griffin. Smith continues to be more of a wideout than a tight end. Donnelly, the H-back. Hibble running hard to the right-hand side, and Basher thought he had a crack at it, but it was out of bounds. Basher read that play. Remember, that's the play that happened early in the game when Clayton dropped the ball. This time, Baber said, I've seen this one before. Basher said, I've seen this one. I'm going to get all over this one and make you throw it much better, and really could have intercepted it, and Hibble gets one from Corey Reddy. He's had, as you said, 17 pressures, not a sack yet. You know he wants one. And he wants one in this game. Third down. Sooners need 9 yards. That's him right there. On the release, it's intercepted by Johnson at the 40-yard line. Derrick at the 25. Bangs his way to the 21-yard line. Number 11. Derrick Johnson, the sophomore whose brother is a defensive lineman in the NFL, who is a first cousin of the Emanuels. Football in his genes, and he makes a big-time play. He's reading the eyes of Hibble. He starts out one way, and then look at him react. Boy, I'll tell you, when you're throwing the ball across the middle of the field, you have to look for linebackers. When you're throwing the ball deep, you have to look for safeties. And you see Nate Hibble grabs a little helmet in the mouth that time. Roderick Wright, the true freshman, puts one on him just as he lets go of the ball. Chris Sims a yard outside of that red zone for the Horns. Sooners show pressure. They toss wide. Benson forced out of bounds with that Sooner speed. Lance Mitchell. Let's check in with Jackaroo. Jack.
Over at Cedric Benson, you were talking about the fact that he likes the big games, especially down there in Midland High School in Texas. They call him the monster of Midland. During the course of his high school career, he took his team to 3 straight championships in the state of Texas. And guess what? He scored 15 touchdowns in those 3 games. He likes the big game.
15, folks, as in 1-5. Amazing performance. Second down and 10 now. Johnson in motion, and again they toss wide, and that time number 53, Pasha Jackson, was there. I'll tell you, Chris Sims has to be looking over to the sideline. You know he wants to throw the ball down here. 2 straight running plays. They get a turnover. You want that sudden change play where Sims wants to throw it into the end zone, and 2 straight times, conservatively, the ball goes to the outside in a run play. Texas misses a tight end by the name of Bo Scaife, who was lost with an injury, and he could have been a very big performer in a game like this. Right now, Benson is going to split far out to the left. Backfield is empty. Oklahoma will look for heat here. Nobody to protect Sims. Has his pocket. And Williams can't get there. Lehman chasing him just a little too far in front, and you wonder about that tender hamstring as Roy Williams was unable to accelerate to the ball, and it's field goal time for the Horns.
Looked like Chris that time kind of fell off this throw. 3 guys going wide. Chris looks downfield. Second, kind of momentum's going to the right. He kind of throws it sidearm to his left. And you're right. We're not even seeing 90% of Roy Williams today. He's 75% at most.
36-yarder. There's the wind, how it's blowing. Only 2 miles an hour. Mangum, who missed 3 a week ago, doesn't miss this one. Texas leads Oklahoma by 6. Timeout in Dallas. Nate Hibble has thrown 3 interceptions today, and Texas has scored 17 points off the 3 turnovers. Now, Chris Sims has thrown a pair of interceptions, and the Sooners have yet to score any points following those picks. So a big difference in points off the turnovers here. Remember, Savage had an 81-yard return before the end of the half, and he's coming again. He's got daylight on the left to the 35-yard line. Well, again, a reminder, next Saturday we got a great lineup of regional college football on ABC. Texas, Kansas State, or Iowa State, Oklahoma down in these parts. That's just the beginning. Ohio State, Wisconsin. Wisconsin a loser to Indiana today. Washington, USC, Wake Forest, Clemson. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on ABC next week.
Not much Stoops going to think about pulling Nate Hibble because Jason Wright is already out. The backup now, Paul Johnson, is a true freshman.
Hibble back in the shotgun. Here's that delay. Griffin bounces and then dives for a couple of yards. Kansas State was a scoring machine when we checked earlier. Let us find out from John Saunders if they're still doing it. John?
Well, Brent, the reason they've been successful is because of their quarterback, L. Roberson, who runs for a couple of touchdowns today and passes for 2. This one, 36 yards to Taco Wallace. Does the work over the last 15 yards, and Kansas State blows out Oklahoma State 44-9. And Georgia leads Tennessee 18-0.
Without Casey Clausen, Volunteers are struggling, and here it is Griffin to the 42-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down coming up for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is trying to take some pressure off Nate Hibble and get this running game going, but I think Texas and Carl Reese, their defensive coordinator, has adjusted. They are not letting those big dashing running plays get up inside of them right now. That inside line, Marcus Tubbs, Corey Redding, Roderick White are stopping these running plays now.
Sooners need 3 against this D. Carter brings the offensive line up. They're going to throw. Got a man for the 1st down. Donley, who has been the H-back here today for the offense. Lance Donley, the junior from Weatherford, Oklahoma, slips out for the 1st down, and the Sooners now move the chains out close to midfield.
That was the best read that Nate Hibble's made so far today. They wanted to get the ball to the outside to Quentin Griffin. That was taken away from him, and he had to come to his secondary receiver, Trent Smith, that time.
That familiar shotgun look with the running backs alongside Hibble. He flares Griffin, fires this one really overthrew his man. He just fired that over his head. And John, what's happening between the Bruins and the Ducks?
One, Brent, might be whoever gets the ball last is going to win. Corey Paws just over the middle here. Great catch by Craig Bragg, who already had touchdown reception. After that, it's all no work. Just runs into the end zone, 46 yards, and UCLA back on top. They missed the point after.
John, that was a pretty nifty one-handed grab. Great big right paw just up in the air and snaps it down.
Hibble had to throw this ball early. That's why it was really there. Watch Tubbs get on him. He had to pick a spot, and he didn't pick the right spot.
2nd down and 10. Hibble runs the option look, and the running back Griffin is pounded out of bounds at the 45 by number 11, Derek Johnson, out of Waco, Texas. Well, Andre Griffin 2 years ago, he really popped in. Quentin Griffin popped in those 6 touchdowns, and you can see he runs a pretty fast 40. Soch Major, he's a heavy-duty back, Quentin Griffin.
3rd and medium again. Quarterback's down right here. Can he find somebody, and will Texas bring pressure?
Hibble brings some motion. Texas tries to get there. They hit him on the release. Double coverage, incomplete. Michael Huff had a shot at the interception, and Hibble was under enormous pressure that time.
Brent, he was, because he missed his first receiver. Mark Clayton was wide open for the first down. You must take your first read on that one. Hibble got a little greedy, and he paid the price on that play. Mark Clayton hooked up at about 5 yards, and he was wide open for the first down.
And Thornton knocked him down on the 11th time. As Vasher goes back, he will be right at the Longhorn 10-yard line. Ferguson back to punt. The officials with the penalty flag as the time runs out, so this will give Ferguson 5 more yards. Not wanting to nail it in the end zone. They take the 5-yard penalty.
5 yards, still 4th down.
Oklahoma just one big play away.
One more look.
This game up.
You'll see number 9 hook right here for the first down. One guy goes deep. There's Clay right there. Look at that. That could have been a first down throw, and Hibble tries to go for the big one when he only needed to move the chains.
Come on, go get it, Michael! Gone.
Vasher said let it go toward the end zone. And down at the... See, they're going to talk to each other now. It's inside the 1-yard line.
Remember, in college ball, you do not, like pro ball, have to stop with the ball. All you have to do is catch it. But when he threw it, the ball hit the pylon. Right at the end of the play, he grabs it, 1 foot, throws it, does people, and watch the ball hit the pylon.
Where's my rule book? Timeouts. Special teams advantage Oklahoma. 3 punts down inside the 15. This one at the 1-yard line. He had possession before he threw the ball. Throwing the ball meant nothing when it hit the pylon. He'd already downed the ball at the 1-yard line. From the I formation. Out of their own end zone. Benson got a fake. Sends the throw. Incomplete. Beautiful fake by Sims that time.
Roy Williams tried to go deep on that play and just could not get it out of first gear. He's not a threat any longer. Oklahoma knows he can't run. Watch him trying to go deep on this play, and he just cannot get that hamstring to loosen up. Look at that. Can't not get it out of gear. Limping all the way up the field and forced Sims to go to the secondary receiver.
And now he's on the sideline. They have taken Roy Williams out of the game. Sims throwing from his own end zone to Johnson, who's pushed out after a couple of yard gain. And let's check in on the Nittany Lions now, and here's John.
Brent, as you know, it's been tough for the Lions to score on Michigan the last 5 years, a total of 46 points. Zach Mills trying to get a lot of it right here. 53 yards to Bryant Johnson, and that sets up Mills one more time. This time to Mike Lukac, 9 yards, touchdown. They missed the point after, 13-7.
And here, John, a big 3rd down for the Horns, and Oklahoma trying to stop them so they can get some big-time field position in this game. Trailing by 6. Sims to throw for the 3rd time. This time he's got Johnson. Dives for the first down. I don't think he got it. Just short, as you can see where that yellow line is.
Oklahoma and Mike Stoops played it very conservatively. They stayed in zone on all 3 downs, and they did not allow Chris Sims to get a cheapie to get them out of being backed up, and he did not make it.
Now it's the punting team of Texas. Backed up. Mike Stoops and Brent Venables, co-defensive coordinators there on the Oklahoma sideline. That's Mike with the visor. Bob's brother, there's Brent Venables. They both signal into play. Texas, I believe, asked for a measurement. From our vantage point, looked like he just missed it.
And Oklahoma's going to stay, get their defense back on the field and go defense safe here.
In a 6-point game, would you risk
no
fake here?
I just feel he feels like he's going to control the field position anyway, and he doesn't want Mack Brown to steal a first down here.
Bradford is average over 43 yards here today.
You can see it. He put his whole starting defense back out on the field.
And Perkins, a very big-time return man, is back deep.
Sideline and out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, and investments rely on the strength of Pacific Life. And Yamaha, makers of fine motorcycles and ATVs. Nobody's more in tune with motorsports than Yamaha. Big old Ferris wheel here at the Texas State Fair.
Again, Texas has not been able to get the ball deep in this game. Let's see if they don't go deep down the sideline.
So Oklahoma on the attack. Bibble comes back high on that pass. They tried Mark Clayton coming back in on that bubble screen, and he threw the ball too high.
Yeah, that wide receiver slip screen, and he had him, and Clayton's upset because he knew he had space to run on that one.
Second down and 10.
Kibble's now 8 for 23.
And one play away from a tie. Three down linemen defensively. Kibble's inside handoff. And Griffin to the 29-yard line, and Pearson coming up to make the stop. We are at the top of the hour here with Gary Danielson and Jack Garut. I'm Brett Musburger. The Red River Shootout, a 6-point game. Our offensive leaders for the Sooners. There's Hibble, 3 costly interceptions. Griffin rushed for most of his yards way back in the first quarter. Antoine Savage here today, 1 catch, 13 yards, but a great kickoff return. 81 yards. Third down and 7. Ronaldo works. He's in the backfield. Hibble, middle, wide open Smith. First down Sooners at the 15-yard line. Very soft on the tight end.
You know, we talked about Griffin running the ball, Brent, but watch Quentin Griffin right here pick up the blitz. Blitz is coming off the corner, and watch little number 22 do his job and pick up Cedric Griffin and allow Trent Smith, the go-to guy on third down, to find that hole on the zone blitz.
Griffin off to Hibble's right. They have used that draw play from this shotgun formation several times. And Griffin carries a defender to about the 13-yard line. Roderick right there, and at the end of the game we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and the Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Neither team wants to play a lot of man coverage against these game breakers at wide receiver, but as you get the ball inside the 20, seems like you're almost forced to.
They take their time with that hand signal. So the Sooners quickly up to the line now. Last 5 seconds. There's that inside handoff. Griffin short of the 10-yard line, and it'll be third down. And about 5 coming up now. Lee Jackson makes the stop for the Horns, and here's that third down situation.
Remember when Oklahoma needed that pass, they either go to the tight end or they like to cross their receivers. Peoples caught that pass right at the end of the half when he slipped down. They like to cross their receivers and bump off their defender. Let's see if they do that or go to the tight end. Whatever they do, they better hurry. They're under 10 again.
Timeout. Hibble didn't have it straight, and the clock was running down. Does not want to risk a 5-yard penalty down here. Texas 17, Oklahoma 11. Timeout. 3rd and 5, and Smith is on the right side of the formation. He's flexed out just a little bit. He's off the line. They're blitzing from that side. Hibble can't get to him, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. Kalen Thornton gets there, and the Horns changed the defense, and they were riding Smith across the formation that time, keeping him under check because they know he's the go-to guy here.
Their scouting report said on 3rd down they like to throw the ball to the tight end. They were ready. This time they crossed the tight end and the receiver. The tight end's going to come this way, and across this way comes number 9, Clayton. Watch this. They cross, they try to pick, but no, it's open.
Here's a 37-yard attempt for DiCarlo to cut the lead in half on the money. Trey DiCarlo makes it a 3-point game again. Special teams are keeping Oklahoma in the thick of things here in the Red River Shootout. Timeout. Jonathan Hayes, who once was an outstanding tight end himself up at Iowa, is the special teams coach here. He also works with the tight ends for the Sooners, and his special teams today are doing an outstanding job. In fact, throughout the tenure of Bob Stoops up in Oklahoma, they have been just outstanding.
And Ivan Williams.
Great athletes. You got a coach that goes for it, has the fakes. He puts his best athletes on the special teams. Sounds like Frank Beamer ball, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Taking a knee. Well, this really illustrates, Gary, what I'm talking about is Savage coming back for 81 yards. That set up the touchdown at the end of the half. Then Peoples downing that punt.
3 of them inside the 10 and a field goal that Bobby didn't go for it last week. He took the touchdown instead, but they come back. Both kickers have not been hot, but both have done their job in this football game.
Chris Sims is 9 of 15 for 95 yards, but 44 of those yards came on one play.
I think they got to cut Chris loose a little bit. They are not going to run the ball against this defense.
Toss play, Benson, daylight to the 26-yard line, hit by Everidge, number 7, and Benson now has carried the ball 18 times in this game for 51 yards.
They just have spent a lot of time, a lot of carries. They're not going to leave Benson in their pocket like they did a year ago. They're not giving up on the run. But I think Oklahoma was stung by that criticism last week. They were poor tacklers, and they're doing a much better job here today.
Second down. Toss play, and Selvin Young is eaten up. Mitchell up over the top, and we check in again with John Saunders.
Fred, Michigan marching, trying to come back down at home to Penn State. John Navarro 5 yards to Braylon Edwards. The point after is good. Penn State missed one, so they are down 14-13. And Tyrone Willingham, just the 3rd coach in Notre Dame history to start his career there at 6-0. They hang on against Pitt. Right.
Yeah, the Irish, big favorite in that game. And Pittsburgh gives them a battle, but Notre Dame prevails.
Roy Williams is out here back in the game.
3rd down. Deflected, incomplete, and the Horns are forced to punt. Great defense again by the Sooners.
Chris had a couple passes knocked down last week against Oklahoma State. That's his first one today. Tried to go short. Roy Williams went 6 yards looking for it, and Corey Klein stuck up the paw.
Bradford punting again, number 6. Gotta wonder if Oklahoma will, their great special teams, go for a punt before the block before this one's over.
It's gone.
Drives Perkins back. Alley, 40. Surrounded and slips free to midfield. A fine return by Perkins. That's a 24-yard return. Will the Junction Boys.
They only learn one thing in football, and that's to sacrifice.
Out 10 days in hell when Bear Bryant forged a championship team. That's an ESPN original entertainment production, Gary.
The Bear recruited me out of high school. He called me one night. It's like talking to God on the phone.
Hello, Gary. This is God. Come on down here to Mama. Here's the handoff now. Right straight ahead is Jones. So Jones gives Griffin a breather here, and Quinton's over on the sideline.
Well, it just appears to me that both offensive coordinators are trying to keep their quarterback from making a bad play and losing this game. It's a close football game. Everything is very close to the vest for both offenses.
But special teams,
yes,
keeping Oklahoma in command of field position in this game. And it is 2nd down and 7. They've had all the best of it.
2 backs, and well, actually it's Trent Smith to the left over here.
And then Donnelly gives that H-back look. Griffin back in the game, downfield. Himmel got a man wide open. Picked off. Intercepted at the 15 by Pearson. His 2nd interception of the game. He is out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Same mistake.
There is the 4th interception of the game. And remember, the Horns have made him pay all 3 previous occasions.
This one
early in the game. This was number 1 and the first of Pearson's 2 as he picks it off. Back he came again. Babers, 71-yard touchdown, Texas. Then over the middle, Derek Johnson snapped off number 3. And just moments ago, it was Pearson again.
Made the same mistake as he made on the first 3, and he paid for it.
First down near midfield. Here comes Benson. And Lehman tracks him down from behind.
You must, when you throw the ball down the field, account for this guy. This ball hangs again, has a mouthful of helmet, and the receiver says, I got it, I got it. Nope, Pearson is right there. Curtis Fagan says, I'll take that. Long ball, get it deep to me, and he got it hit just as he let that ball go.
Sims in Texas with a 2nd and long. Final half minute of the 3rd quarter. Fake by Sims. Stands tall. Middle. Deflected. Intercepted. Lehman on the ricochet. Here comes Teddy. He can fly. Midfield. Inside the 40-yard line to the 36-yard line.
Johnson was open deep, but watch number 7 right here make the play. The free safety gets the guy right over the middle. He closes. Watch Everidge. Closes on it. He knows it's coming. That pops the ball up. And Teddy Lehman, a linebacker with defensive back speed, and Brandon Everidge made the big hit, and B.J. Johnson is down.
B.J. is down. Lance Mitchell, number 10. Look at the big linebacker also on the left side of the receiver. He's right back there along with the safety. Then on the ricochet, Lehman, a one-time track star in high school, takes off.
What a hit by the safety, just like you draw it up. When you catch the ball over the middle of the field, you must make those receivers pay for it, and that's exactly what Everidge did on that play. He had the deep guy going deep down the sideline, wide open. Tony Jeffrey could have gotten the deep ball, but Sims goes for the crossing route.
Hibble on that inside handoff. Griffin is down. We come to the end of the third quarter. Yo, come on back. We could have a very interesting final 15 after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Oklahoma. They will start at the Texas 38-yard line. They start the final 15 minutes down a field goal, looking for a touchdown. But Hibble on a 2nd and 10. Underneath on that screen, coming back to the middle, and Will Peoples breaks it inside the 25-yard line. A 14-yard gain for the Sooner first down.
They came back to the same play that made Hibble overthrew DeMarc Clayton earlier. This time he set his feet and threw a strike.
Going without the huddle. Here's the pitch. Griffin the daylight and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. They're at the 18.
When you've thrown 4 picks, and I've done it, you have to concentrate and let your teammates know that you're willing to throw the ball in the tight spots again. You can't chicken out now. The team needs you. You forget about the 4. It's like 4 strikeouts. You get a home run on the next one.
2nd down and 4. Here comes Griffin. Texas jumps in, but there's a penalty flag. It might have been a face mask. Could have been a face mask. Yes, indeed.
That might be the big one, too, because it ripped him down and it stopped the play. Draw play, reached out, grabbed him right there. Yes, yes. That stopped his forward progress, and this should be half the distance to the goal. Either way, it's going to be a first down. Was it 5 yards or a little bit more than that? I'm still very, very close. Yep, it will be half the distance.
Face mask, half the distance from the previous spot. First down.
That'll put the ball inside the 10 at the 9-yard line for this Oklahoma offense. Donnelly now comes in along with Kewan Jones. Griffin trots out to the sideline. They'll come with Jones. He's the touchdown maker, the redshirt freshman out of Jinx, Oklahoma.
This is the formation they ran the play action pass out of.
This time they run Jones to the 6-yard line. Thornton there to make the stop. So now it is 2nd down and goal for the Sooners, who trail it by 3.
Jones is the downhill runner. Griffin more of the quick-footed outside runner.
Second down and goal for the Sooners. Hibble, nobody open, fires it incomplete. 3rd down and goal.
He got outside the tackle box that time, which allowed him to throw the ball away. Mack tries to throw the slant, nothing there. Watch Hibble on the shotgun. He wants to go right side with the slant, nothing there. Gets outside the tackle box. And I thought Roderick Wright was held on that play, and so did Mack Brown.
3rd down and goal for the Sooners. Hibble fires, caught, fumble, picked
the fumble and dashes in for the go-ahead score. Boomer Sooner, the Magic is alive and well in Dallas.
Same crossing ball. The ball goes to Peoples. Kibble looks to his left, comes back to Peoples, throws a strike on this one. Good defense. And Quinton is in the right spot as Reed Boyd popped that ball loose, and it's a walk-in. Is that a different type of fumble, Ruski?
And there's the extra point. Quentin Griffin remains the touchdown man as far as the Sooners are concerned against Texas. The fumble. Griffin dashes in for the go-ahead score. Timeout. Quentin Griffin now with 152 yards rushing, and then he scoops up that fumble and dashes in for the opportunity touchdown, putting the Sooners up 21-17 now, and the pressure squarely falls on number 2 of the Texas Longhorns, and he'll be coming out after this kickoff. From the 6, it is Young, the freshman, down at the 21-yard line, and here comes Chris Sims now, and he must bear the burden of his past performances and today's against top 10 teams. No touchdowns and 15 interceptions, Gary.
Believe me, he knows it, and he knows his teammates are looking into his eyes and finding a lot out about him. Right now, he has to just concentrate one play at a time and not deal with history. All the great quarterbacks have had to go through something similar to this.
Brock Edwards, one of his tight ends. The crowd making it difficult as Sims changes it up. With only 2 left on the clock, he gets it off. Comes back with Benson on first down. So we're at the bottom of the hour here. The Texas State Fair just outside the Cotton Bowl. Sims 9 of 17 for 95 yards. He did have one 44-yarder that set up a touchdown, but the 3 interceptions. And Benson has been limited to 47 yards. Now the Oklahoma defense digs in. Second down and 5. Short of the first down. They show that end-around motion again, but Dvorak was not fooled. Held his ground in the middle of the defense.
Dvorak, Corey Klein, and Tommy Harris, the 3 big tackles inside after the first quarter of this game, have not allowed any easy yards. Benson, in this game, 21 attempts for 53 yards.
Third down and 4. The quarterback down for Chris Sims. Has time. Fires. Incomplete. Brock Edwards, the intended receiver, at the 38-yard line. And Texas forced to punt here at the 12-minute mark.
Chris Sims got good protection that time. His offensive line did a good job. That is one he'd like to have back. Nobody in his face, a wide open tight end, and he pulled the string on it.
Bradford punting. Back deep, Antonio Perkins. Oklahoma's special teams kept them in this game, and now they have the lead. Perkins will try to give him field position again. Smacked down at the 35-yard line. 11:42 remaining, and OU leads it. Timeout.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4s out there. Only in a Jeep 4x4. Sprint, introducing PCS Vision. Clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. And FedEx, ground, international, online, or express. Don't worry, there's a FedEx for that. Oklahoma with the football and leading by 4. They have 258 yards of offense to Texas 168 here today. Nate Hibble back in the gun. Run wide to the right with Griffin to the 41-yard line. Let's take a look, Gary, at our Jeep rushing playbook.
And we really have to go all the way back to the first quarter to see how Oklahoma started this game. Putting movement with the tight end, that disrupted the Texas defense, and then you give the ball to your back, Griffin, against a linebacker. And early, Texas was not making the tackle, and Griffin started out very quickly. But Texas found the game plan on defense, and Oklahoma has not been able to run the ball, and that's why Hibble has 4 interceptions.
Smith's the motion tight end this time. Inside handoff to Griffin, tries to stretch the defense for the first down, bangs and did not get it because of Huff. A fine stop at the 44-yard line by that safety, and this will be 3rd and short coming up for the Sooners.
That was really excellent running by Griffin. He wanted to go in the middle of the line that time, and it was stuffed shut by Texas, and he had to react and go outside. You see where most of his yards have been. That draw play right up between the tackles has been where he got his big yards early in the game.
Runnels, the freshman, comes in as the fullback with Jones, the I-back, and there's the whistle. The right tackle broke across the formation.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Well, time permitting, stay tuned for the thrifty Carvana postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. 3rd and 6, a lot different now.
Look for the shovel pass to Ronaldo Works. He did it against Alabama.
Straight back is Hibble. Forced to the right. Penalty. Automatic first down. Mark Clayton drew the flag. He was working against Nathan Vasher. And that will keep the drive alive for the Sooners.
Boy, they had Texas had him where they wanted to. Man-to-man coverage. Vasher to the outside. He's got Mark Clayton, good coverage, and then just bumps him, and that is a good call. Clayton could have caught that ball. He was not hit from behind.
10 minutes remaining. Ball at midfield. Sooners up 4. Hibble brings the play out to the huddle.
Texas is in with 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers.
Inside handoff. Here's Griffin. Inside the 40-yard line for another first down. And Griffin closing in 175 yards here in this game. He's carried 23 times for 173 yards.
Brent, watch Vince Carter, the center on this one. He's got a tough matchup. He's got Marcus Tubbs, but he stays it, keeps his feet moving, and allows Griffin to get into the linebacker lane that time. The center, the sophomore center, makes the block when they needed it.
First down and 10 for the Sooners. Jones back in as the tailback. Left side, inside the 35, and let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
You got a great one. Another one in the Big Ten as well. Penn State, Michigan. John Navarre marshes them, then fires this 3 yards to Braylon Edwards. Great catch for the touchdown. With a point after, they are tied and a minute 42 away from possible overtime.
And I believe that Brian Mollison, my spotter, has told me that Michigan has never, ever, as in ever, been in an overtime game.
You
so
believe
John,
right?
You might keep that.
It's good belief.
Second down for Hibble and the Sooners. Here's Griffin. And a penalty flag. Penalty flag is thrown from behind.
Number 75, I think it was that time, held on that play for Oklahoma.
It is time for the Pacific Life game summary, a game that has been dominated by interceptions. We have 7 total. That one by Woolfolk was a beauty on Sims, and Straight got him that time. Hibble was picked off by Babers for a touchdown, and Pearson with 2. But again, we've had 7 interceptions in this football game.
Mike Skinner held on that play. It's going to Frost bring it back 10 yards. Oklahoma right now, and Chuck Long, their offensive coordinator, has one eye on the clock and one eye on his game sheet. Hibble, who came into this game without throwing an interception this year, as Brent has said, has 4 of them.
Second and 16. Hibble back deep. Middle, got his man on a crossing route. Will Peoples, the sophomore again. First and goal, Sooners. 36 more yards for Nate Hibble.
A play action pass, a 2-man route. Peoples coming across. You need a lot of time on this play, and that's exactly what the play action fake gave Hibble on this one. Look at this. It's like throwing passes before practice. He stood there and throw. Peoples comes from one side of the formation to the other. A huge play and a great call from Chuck Long.
Texas needs to hold OU to a field goal here. Already down 4. First and goal. The Sooners will look for the clincher. Griffin to the 4. And remember, Griffin 2 years ago scored 6 touchdowns against the Horns. The Horns will be very happy to see this man move on. This was the 6th touchdown performance in the Sooner route. No way they can get a handle on him inside the 10-yard line. Number 22 was all over them. And here today, he's already rushed for 176 yards. And he's back there looking for the clincher. Here he comes. Griffin to the 3-yard line. Now it'll be 3rd and goal, Gary.
Texas absolutely needs a stop. They can't let this thing get beyond 7 points. A 4-point lead right now for the Sooners. You got to figure Bobby Stoops is going to kick the field goal, don't you, if he doesn't get it in?
At the end of the first half.
I used to understand the strategy. I'm not sure anymore.
Will they come back? No, Jones is now the running back. Jones is turned. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Everybody went flying on that touchdown.
Third down, you got to have it. That offensive line comes through for that one. They needed to run the ball, and they did. Right over the referee. Brett, you called them out in pregame, and they've responded.
They have done the job here today. They have run, Oklahoma has, for 197 yards. The new line coach, Kevin Wilson.
Kevin Wilson said, I want them more aggressive and more competitive, and today they've come out that way.
DiCarlo with the extra point. You think there's not a penalty flag on that? He heard a little bit of that formation. Only about 2 seconds ahead of the snap. That was DeCarre Pearson, who's intercepted a couple of passes.
Kind of worth a try, I guess. Keep it a 10-point game.
Look,
right there he is.
There comes.
And obviously he can jump.
Oh, that's a great try. Was illegal though. Now the Sooners are up by 10. And the Sooner magic continues here.
How about Bobby Stoops wants to decline this penalty?
On the defense, decline. Still one on time down.
Give a little more daylight in kicking this ball.
For elevation purposes, I guess, right?
If we were going for 2, he wouldn't be declining it, I'll tell you that. They give him a comfortable spot. And DeCarlo, who was going to enroll at the Naval Academy, but signed up at Oklahoma. So these are the 5 young men that we called out before the game. Sims, Davis, Carter, Skinner, Brown. A day of reckoning. They answer the bell and then some. Timeout. The Oklahoma coaching staff makes the right adjustments and they outscore Texas 17-3 here in the second half, and they lead it by 11. 28-17, 6:41 away from a 3rd consecutive win for Coach Bob Stoops. And this would keep the Sooners undefeated and on track for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, perhaps. Remember, a year ago, we were targeting this team toward that game, and then Oklahoma State showed up, and I won't remind the Sooner fans of what happened there. But even if Texas loses this, they are not out of it. That has been proven by history. You just go back to last year. Here's Young from the 3 to the 22-yard line. And well, let's remind everybody, 9. Al Michaels and John Madden will be there. The 49ers and the Seahawks. Remember now, the Seahawks have switched divisions and conferences, and now they're over there in that NFC West deal. So this is a big game. It's the 49ers and the Seahawks, 9 Eastern time on ABC. Should be a good one because Seattle figures to play a little bit better up there at home. And here comes Chris Sims, who is 9 of 18, no touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and he must hurry. They must now strike with these weapons on the outside.
He has to go no huddle.
They can't worry about getting a running game going right now. They need a touchdown first to get right back in this baby. So here he comes. The front, not there. Harris comes off his man and makes the tackle. Oh, man, he's a big timer.
He is. Has forced Texas to put 2 men on him when in this pass rush he's right there. This time downfield, Chris Sims has the first look taken away and allows Tommy Harris, who was blocked pretty well on that play, to get a sack late off Derek Cochran.
Second down. Sims brings him up. Timmons is slotted to the left. Roy Williams far outside. Woolfolk gets off him, comes back down to the right, and straight had a shot at the ricochet for a moment. David Thomas, another freshman. And so it is incomplete. You know, folks, I'm bookended by 2 of my fine friends from the state of Michigan, the wonderful state of Michigan. Danielson here on my right, the old quarterback. Mobilson, the spotter, here on the left. And I'm told by John Saunders and the studio guys that they're both wrong, that Michigan played in overtime in an Orange Bowl against Alabama.
No, wait. Rick Neuheisel just called with a loophole. That was a bowl game. Doesn't count.
You would think you guys knew that. You wouldn't get the old coach locked in a box. 3rd down now. Back goes Sims, and he is sacked. Down at the 15-yard line, and credit 97 with the sack.
No,
the big timer has stepped up huge here.
Bad series for Texas. Coming in and out of huddle slowly. Sack on 2 out of 3 plays. throwing the ball short to the tight end. Look at that Oklahoma defense. Sims has nowhere to go with the ball, and he eats it.
And Bradford going to punt it away at 5:16, and Oklahoma can do everything but salt it away when they go to work on the clock. A very impressive second half for Bob Stoops and the Sooners so far here. And here comes Perkins, driven back to the 34-yard line. Cuts back. He'll go no further than the 40, and now the Sooners will attempt just to bring seconds off. We come back, 28-17. Timeout. Yes, nothing but smiles. The Sooner land today. 28-17, they lead it against their arch rival, Texas. The special teams kept them in this game, and then Hibble in the offense. Led by Griffin. Peoples has been outstanding. Here comes Griffin again. Daylight. Johnson gets it. Spins away.
Nice job not going out of bounds.
Beautiful job of not going out of bounds, and makes his way to the 36-yard line almost. That's 23 more yards, and that gives him 202 yards for the day. 2 years ago, 6 touchdowns, and today 202 yards and the opportunity touchdown. I mean, there'll be a celebration in Austin when Quentin Griffin moves on. He has killed the Longhorns.
And remember the charge that Bobby Stoops gave to his offense. We have to run the ball if we want to be champions. And today in the big game, they were able to run the ball.
Johnson shaken up, and well, I have an opportunity. Let's thank some folks who are responsible for the broadcast. Our executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. The senior producer, Bob Toms, and the coordinating producer of ABC's College Football, the producer of today's game, Bob Goodrich. Old SMU tight end, folks. Nice job, Bob. Directed by Larry Camp. Good pictures as always. Our associate producer, Drew Kaliski, the Z-Man. Associate director, Brian Fay. Our studio show was produced earlier by Tim Weinkoff, directed by Calvin Haywood. And the TD there, Kelvin Bierman. Technical director, Monty Poling. And our production assistants, the Red Fox and Sun Devil herself. And the director of production, who's out there working that Oregon-UCLA game, Mark Loomis. So thanks to one and all for all the help we get throughout the season. And first down and 10. Hibble back in the gun, bringing the clock down. And here is the man of the day. Sprinting free for the end zone. Griffin slipped at the 15-yard line. Oh my, is there any doubt about our Chevrolet player of this game than this young man right here? Quentin Griffin. He's got a heart as big as the state of, well, Oklahoma.
As big as him, basically. He's a small guy. He got a huge heart, and look at those feet. You could have heart, you could be small, but if you got feet like that and get blocking from that offensive line that he's had in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, that's how you get 223 yards against one of the best rush defenses in college football. At least that was their reputation.
How the young man from Humble, Texas enjoys beating up on the Longhorns. Is he coming again? Going nowhere this time as he is thrown down. And again, a reminder that we will join ABC Sports for final round coverage of the Invensys Classic out in Vegas, live at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. You know, a couple other fellas who really helped us with this broadcast were the SIDs. Kenny Mossman and his assistant Danielle Felter up in Norman, Oklahoma, and over Texas and Austin. John Bianco and the assistant athletic director Bill Little. We get so much help from especially these two schools. These two schools are just outstanding for us to deal with at ABC. Here comes Quentin Griffin again. Got the angle. Touchdown. Quentin Griffin. He is the scourge of the Lone Star State. Quentin Griffin, 18 yards, 2:38 on the game, and now 2 touchdowns.
Texas deflated, and they went for it.
Now, next week, when you think about Texas and the Horns, they go to Kansas State, I
They got
believe.
tough
And
schedule.
I believe that's going to be tough for them now, because their heads are going to be down. Nice snap, pull down, and it's good. Well, there it is. So they will
they come back. Look at this. Look at these next two. They got a loss right here, right? And it doesn't get any easier.
Then they go up to Nebraska.
This one looks tougher right here, too. About you really can't play quarterback. Chris knows he's a good player. He's confused why he doesn't play well in big games. He needs to get over that hump. If he gets over that hump, I'm convinced he'll be a very, very good quarterback. But it is a little bit of a mind block for him right now.
The two biggest plays in my mind, number one was Andre Woolfolk's interception.
The Boise State offense has found a new gear. The Broncos
and Savage's 81-yard kickoff return.
It was
Texas seemed to be dominating.
It was an 11-point game there. They could have gone in halftime with an 11-point lead, and all of a sudden it ends up 3.
Young bats it down. 20, 25, tries to break free. He's got great speed. Foot race. But the angle man, and he is brought down by Will Peoples. Will Peoples, who's had a great game, brings him down. But our star of stars is Quentin Griffin. 238 yards, fourth quarter. Now Peoples coughed it up, and Griffin was right there. Touchdown Sooners. And then 18 yards for his second touchdown as he winds through the Texas defense. It was a great show.
I know we have to give it to an individual player, and yes, Quentin Griffin obviously deserves it. But that offensive line has come through. Their quarterback threw 4 interceptions today, and they still win the football game because Oklahoma has dedicated their spring football, fall football, and now the first 4 or 5 games of this year to say we are going to run the ball or we are going to lose, and it paid off today.
We have an injured Sooner, I believe, down at the 25-yard line. Now, we've talked about Texas, so let me take you to the Oklahoma schedule. There are some landmines here. They'll win this one today. Next week, Iowa State in Norman. And the good Oklahoma fans will jam the stadium. But then Colorado comes in, so you get 2 nice home dates. And then off to play the Aggies. Baylor. Texas Tech comes in. And
how about that one again?
There you are. There you are on November 30th. Your old friends from Stillwater and Oklahoma State. And then, of course, on December 7th, the Big 12 Championship will be played in Houston. So we have just gone past 6 o'clock, and Oklahoma closing in on a win. And Gary, you think this was the key play of the game?
I do. There was less than 4 or 5 minutes left in the half when this happened. Texas had just taken the lead up to 11, and all of a sudden, Savage comes the other direction for it, and Oklahoma patiently, remember they drew them off sides on 4th down, and turned a 3-point play into an 8-point play to make it a game at halftime.
Jared Estes, the running back from Wichita Falls, Texas.
It is going to be a long week for Chris Sims. He's going to have to stand there like a man and take it, and he's going to have to get better because of it.
Inside the 40-yard line. Sims fires. Johnson's got it at the 5-yard line. And coming up limping is Everidge. Everidge is hobbling in the back of the end zone. That's a 31-yard strike from Sims. And Everidge, obviously injured, will come off. And I must tell you, my friend, that I think that's how you have to attack with Sims. I know they wanted to run today, but there was such an enormous emphasis on the run. I go back to the end of the first half. My second guess of the staff would be from midfield with that arm, you take a strike at the end zone.
Well, remember when they got the turnover and they ran 2 straight plays and Chris looked over and was very frustrated with the play calling, it looked like to me. Yes, they need to throw the ball downfield, but Texas came in with this game plan, not wanting Chris Sims to have a bad day. He ended up having one anyway.
Well, Gary, we got a moment, and no surprise about our Chevrolet players of this game. Quentin Griffin with a monstrous game, 238 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns overall, 1 a fumble recovery, and Bakari Pearson, 2 interceptions on the day in a recognition of their efforts. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. And did he pull a little hammy when he went down to the end zone and he was chasing BJ?
The way he's flicking it, I believe it's cramps, is the way he's trying to shake it out as he walks. How about that for Dr. D?
And Dr. D, all over that one. The Texas offense, now let us remember this. They are without a touchdown here. Way back in the first quarter, they got their only one. And Sims bucked it in from a yard out. That was the first touchdown of the game. They have not scored a touchdown since their second one was a defensive touchdown. So Sims would very much like to put up a touchdown here. Just short. 2nd down and goal. Let's find out about the Michigan-Penn State overtime. Here's John Saunders. John. And here, the Texas Longhorns touchdown. As Chris Sims takes it in for the 2nd time here today, make it 35-23. And I want to remind Gary Danielson and my spotter, the Moat Man, that that's the 2nd overtime that Michigan has been involved in.
All records don't count.
Both. Here's Mangum. On for the extra point.
I got 11.
Oklahoma will be ready for the onside kick after this.
Oh, sure. Bangs it in. Inside of 2 minutes and still down by 11 points.
2nd quarterback sneak for Chris Sims today. Both Texas touchdowns on offense were of that variety.
And we would invite you to remain after the ball game.
Well, we'll be in Madison. The Badgers, Gary, they'll be angry. And speaking of being angry, people are very unhappy that they let this one get away.
You think he'll call the talk shows this week?
Bob Stoops will be listening this week because they have nice things to say. Mack will not have his radio on.
Nope.
He will ignore them, but there he is, Bob Stoops. And across the way, Mack Brown loses again to Stoops, who has now beaten his rival 3 straight times.
Well, when I was over there in Austin on Thursday to watch practice, Mack said that his next 3 games, and then what, the 4th one is, his next 3 games after this one, are real tests for this team. He doesn't want to lose them if they lose this big game, because he said all the next 3 games are losable games.
They will have their hands full in Manhattan. We saw that team in Boulder, Colorado, Kansas State, and they were a big winner today. McGee to kick this one off now. Here's the onside kick. Woolfolk grabs it
Number
on the good hands team. And boy, Woolfolk's interception, folks. He looked like he was beaten by a couple of yards, and he just tracked that ball down and snatched it out of the air.
I would say there's probably 6 #1 draft picks on the field here today, and they all came through. Tommy Harris, Woolfolk, Roy Williams he played half speed out here, but they're players that have made plays in this football game.
I think the biggest question will be Chris Sims, where he goes in the draft. I think that'll be just absolutely fascinating to watch as the rest of this season and the workouts and the draft unfold. And here, the handoff to the little man, the MVP, He just keeps tacking on yards. He could have a 250-yard day. He's up to 243 right now.
Texas has all 3 timeouts. Oklahoma knows if they can get a first down, they can pretty much ice the football game. They can go into that victory formation that everybody likes to do. You wonder now about Oklahoma, what they're thinking, though, Brent. I mean, Nate Hibble, in a big game, throws 4 interceptions. You know they're going to need a quarterback to throw the ball to win this whole thing. And in the big game, he didn't have a big game either.
Well, I'm going to say
I thought
he made some big plays.
I thought his interceptions were much worse than Chris Sims. Very simple reads. He did not find the free safety.
I got to disagree with you a little bit. I thought the rollout at the end of the first half, the touchdown pass, was a big-time play. He executed the trick play, I thought, very well. I find him a bit of a gamer. Doesn't have the physical tools that Chris has, but I thought you made such a good point late in the game that you must come out having thrown 4 interceptions and you must forget it. It's like being 0 for 4.
And he did.
You step up and he hit a home run.
I will give him that. And I think that's his golfing background. You just put it to rest, always look forward to the next shot. But what are you thinking if you're Oklahoma? Do we have to protect this kid? You know, that's what I'm talking about as a coordinator. Can I trust him to throw the ball? Because I got all these weapons here. Do I have a guy to get him?
You got to keep playing. I mean, he's your guy. You're not going anyplace else. And here comes Griffin. Here he comes again. Penalty flag is thrown on this play, though. This one's apparently coming back.
I think Wes Sims grabbed on that play and is going to get called.
Final minute, 44, and I see that a lot of empty seats back there in the orange section now in the end zone. So very disappointed.
Let's go back to that topic again about Hibble.
Sure.
Because when you have a defense like this, you get in that meeting room as a coaching staff and you say, listen, we can't allow one guy to lose this football game for us. Yes, he made some big plays, but we have to continue to run the ball because our defense is good enough to win games by themselves.
I find that more to be a Texas point of view today than what Oklahoma did. They kept firing.
I think Texas's only shot is if Chris Sims starts to play big-time ball.
Yeah, but I want to go back to about Hibble and what those coaches are going to say. I don't find Bob Stoops to be that way.
Not publicly, he won't be. I wonder what he's thinking privately.
Well, he certainly wishes he hadn't thrown the 4 interceptions, but you know, he has thrown 3 touchdown passes here today, and Sims doesn't have any touchdown passes. And Jack Arute, come on in here and help me, my friend.
Well, Brent, one of the things that they've all said, Chuck Long in particular told me when I went up to Norman, is the fact that the big difference between Nate Hibble in 2001, Nate Hibble in 2002, is his calm and cool demeanor. He doesn't get down on himself, and he maintains his poise. One of the things that I watched all day was how Hibble would come off the field and get on the phones upstairs after he threw a pick. Never changed his attitude. The other thing Long told me is he said, you know what? He likes it now when the chips are down. And you know, when we were up there, they said they didn't feel, the coaching staff, that Nate Hibble was getting the credit that he deserves as a quarterback in this game.
Yeah, and Jack, you told me on the drive out to the stadium you really liked Oklahoma in this game after visiting with them, and you were right on the money here.
Well, here's why. I think they felt going into this game, the Sooners felt they weren't getting the respect that they deserved. They felt that despite the fact that they had won the last 2 outings, everybody wanted to talk about Texas and Chris Sims. They told me on Thursday, we know about that. We can't get any respect, so what we'll do is we'll kick him in the dirt again, and kick him in the dirt one more time.
And Joe Castiglione back there getting a little camera time, the fine athletic director from Oklahoma.
Right in the background.
Another thing about Hibble being a golfer, Gary, is when you have a bad hole or a bad shot, you just go on to the next one. I mean, that's how you do it when you have one of those infrequent bad shots.
Unless you're Phil Mickelson in a big game, and you keep thinking about it.
So now there's, and I still think that what are we at with Quentin Griffin now? We're at 247. Electronic stats have been very, very good this season, I must say. And 31 carries. So the Sooners were under fire early in this game, and Derek Strait was one of the picks, and there is the rollout at the end of the half to the tight end. Then the fumble, and Griffin right in behind him scoops it up. Jones bangs in for the put-away touchdown, and then some frosting. Griffin dashes in around the left side.
Did Quentin Griffin's touchdown count as a touchdown pass? Yes. That's one of his 3. I like those. I would have been much better with those. Those are nice.
Your final minute and a half here, and we bring down the curtain on another Red River shootout.
The compelling story again, though, has got to be Chris Sims, though, right? Comes into this football game. He told me, he says, "Are you doing our game in 2 weeks against Iowa State?" And I said, "I don't know." He says, "We'll be there. You'll be there. We're going to win this game." He was very, very confident going into this game.
I still think he has a wonderful future in front of him in the National Football League. I am not willing to give up on that young man. I see too much physical ability with number 2 when I watch him out on the field, and I remember how tough his daddy was up with the New York Giants. I think he can keep his head up a little bit after this one. Now, I think his worst performance was against Colorado in that Big 12.
No doubt.
And I think Chris would be the first to admit that.
Yeah, no doubt. This game, the interceptions weren't as bad. I mean, one time Shanahan kind of stops on a slant. The other time Woolfolk makes a beautiful play on the post platter.
Well, let me ask George Hill, what were the points off turnovers here today? I know the first 2 interceptions, Oklahoma could not score. And then off the third one, and it looks like they were fairly clean off the. It was the Horns scoring off of the Oklahoma turnovers, but at any rate, it's great food for thought. And Oklahoma was able to score off that third interception. They had 7 points off turnovers, and Texas had 17. So there's.
Texas needs to get Roy Williams healthy. He's a big play guy. You're not having him today. Cedric Benson, 21 attempts for 53 yards, is something that Texas never thought would happen today.
Well, I'm sure that Jack Arute will be down on the field looking for the Oklahoma coach just as soon as we finish this game. I think Bob Stoops really has reason to be very, very proud of his team and his coaching staff. This team plays with a swagger, folks, and you just cannot overlook how good they are on special teams, how much speed he's put on the defensive side, the well-conceived game plans. He adds Kevin Wilson from Northwestern, and the offensive line came up with an improved performance here today. Basher back deep now for the Horns. Blake Ferguson back to punt. Sooner fans beginning their party. This one will come out on the 20-yard line with 45 seconds to go in this game, and the Sooners about to wrap it up again. And undoubtedly, when we look at the rankings next week, we'll have Miami will hold its ground with that great comeback, 28-27. The Sooners will be clear number 2 right now, but the Buckeyes of Ohio State amongst those probably closing in with Virginia Tech.
And Notre Dame.
Notre Dame will be jumping up there now. Georgia coming. Still so many snaps in the remainder of this season. So many great moments to unfold, but you must take off your cap and tip it in the direction of Norman, Oklahoma here this afternoon. This was a fine performance. Sims is back now. And that'll stop the clock. David Thomas, the freshman, was Chris's target that time. There's David jogging back. Let me remind everybody about Monday night. Let's just remind everybody that it's San Francisco and Seattle. Gary, I've been babbling on and on about that game. You have any points?
Love to watch Jeff Garcia play football. I'll tell you, one of those guys that worked his way in there. A great story. Those are my type of guys, more in my image, and never gave up. I just like the way he plays.
Second down. 3 down linemen for OU. Safeties are way back at midfield. Sims fires in underneath, and Roy Williams, who has been rather quiet. He caught a big 44-yarder in the first half. That's only his second catch here today, and that's a 22-yarder. You know, you must give credit to Woolfolk and Strait, too, as a pair of defensive backs. Remember, Woolfolk has missed a couple of games for the Sooners, but number 17 back today at the very top of his game, and I look for him to go in the first round for sure. He's just a fine football player. So Chris cranks it and fires it over into the sideline there. Final 18 seconds.
I think the best thing Bobby Stoops has done this week was to remind everyone that the week before the game last year, Kansas State ran all over their defense, and he said, don't worry. He said, I'm not worried. My defense will play. He reminded all his fans that Missouri happens once in a while in college football.
Yeah, great performance by Brad Smith in that game. High and incomplete, and could not hook up with Williams.
Their defense has speed, they force turnovers, and they play 95% zone. 11 players look at the quarterback. They don't get caught in a lot of matchups with defensive backs head turned away from the quarterback.
Last year, Chris was 24 of 42. Today, 12 of 25, so they cut down his passing. He threw for 198 yards last year, only 156 here today. But in the last 2 games against Oklahoma, no touchdowns and 7 interceptions. The final seconds about to tick off here in Dallas.
Stoops got the ice bucket.
A great relationship between that coaching staff and the players up in Norman. The weather holds up around Norman. I'm sure that Bob will get out on the golf links, relax, take him around the golf. A few holes anyway, just to relax, get away from the pressure. Here's your 4th down. Last play of the game. Lance Mitchell sacks Sims. 35-24. Oklahoma wins it. 3 interceptions, 3 sacks, and down we go to Jackaroo. Jack.
Bob, congratulations. Your special teams in the play, your rushing game, outstanding.
I'll tell you, Rick, it was a total team effort. Loved the way our players never lost patience. We were behind good part of the game until the 4th quarter, and we really turned it on. Really proud of our players. Just to hold tight the whole game and fight to win.
I know we talked about it, and I know you talked about it at halftime, not to get worried even though you were down.
Well, you know, we had given them a few big plays on some turnovers, but we made our own on defense as well. We knew it's going to be a 4-quarter deal. We liked how we were playing. Outside of the turnovers, we were moving the ball on offense. We were playing good defense. We just eliminated turnovers in the second half. I felt we had a chance to win.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Rick.
Straight ahead, guys.
So congratulations to Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners. They have done it again.